Sarah.
Sarah, hi, I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. I would like to call and make some complaints about some City of Kenosha buildings. Are you the person who I would speak to about those matters?
I can get a complaint put in for you. What is the address of the property?
Okay, so there's a property at 4777 88th Avenue, Kenosha, Wisconsin, 53144.
Okay, and what is going on at that property?
And so I don't know if it's exactly there right now at this moment. But when I was there was a problem with the plumbing. Over 20 something women in a dorm on either side or whatever, and it was 3 toilets there. And only 2 of those toilets were in working order for over 20 people. Now, this may be a problem throughout the whole Kenosha County Detention Center, and so it should be looked into. Serious
problem. We can
problem.
get a case put in. That's not a problem.
Also,
we can definitely put something in for the plumbing not working as it should. Let me get this pulled up. Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to add to the file as well?
What file is that?
The case that I'm going to put in for 4777 88th
Avenue, Kenosha, Wisconsin, 53144. It's so nice to build a long string. And so also, there's problems with the shower pressure, the temperature. Some is not even hot water. It's to the point where people literally have come up to me and asked me, do I want them to flush the toilet while I'm in the shower so that I can be able to get hot water? This has been an issue, and I know it was issued back in about 2009 or something like that too. It's been an issue throughout the time in 2003, and it was an issue in 2004. 2024. Now, these are serious issues because what is the problem where there's no hot water coming out from just them turning the shower or whatever the situation, whoever is using the shower? Like I said, the pressure. I was forced to take a cold shower for over 30 minutes. And it was barely any hot water, or if the hot water, the hot water lasts for maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes or something like that. And it's not much pressure all the time, or if it is pressure, it's way too much pressure out there where it's splashing all over the place. They're not properly managing how it could be hazards for slip and falls. It's just a very serious imbalance around there. It's either not enough or just improper completely.
Okay. I can add that as well. So we can bring up the plumbing issue, so the toilet's not working, the water temperature with, the lack of hot water, and then we can do the water pressure.
And also the temperature in there is not always as warm as it could be, especially like in those holding cells and things like that. It's kind of cold in that building. It's not as cold as Kenosha County Jail, but it is cold. And I just referenced Kenosha County Jail because it's just a problem, and I understand that personally. But there is a serious problem. I don't know if it's particularly a punishment or what, but there is some issue.
Okay.
So
I can definitely get this case put in. I just need your information for the file. What is your address and phone number?
I can tell you my email address.
I just need
I don't have it.
Address.
And I told you already. I told you that I don't have that, and I have an email address.
I I wasn't speaking with you prior, so I'm not sure on that.
So, so why are you mentioning what you mean prior? So apparently what you doing, like rumoring or something in your office or something?
You just said you were speaking with somebody, and I'm saying you weren't speaking with me.
No,
so
I did not. I told you that I just told you that.
Sorry, what?
Now, so what is it now? What is it?
What is what?
I told you that I told you.
Yeah. And we weren't speaking before. You said you told me before, and I wasn't speaking with you before.
I was the one that was talking, though, to you.
Just now, yes. If you had a prior phone call, it wasn't with me, is what I'm informing you.
Why are you mentioning a prior phone call? And I did not even bring up that phone call. This has nothing to do with anything else. So, again, what is it? What is this about? What are you doing?
I don't understand your question. To get this case finished, I just need an address and phone number.
And I already told you that I have an email address to give to you. And I also said that I do not have an address. I did say that to you.
That's correct.
What is
You know what? Yes. I mean, it's a pretty universal thing.
You need to watch your mouth, okay? I'm going to tell you that right now because I asked you a question. I mean that. I'm not playing with you on this phone, okay? And you're not going to speak to me like that. It's many people that can get in that job and assist Kenosha and Wisconsin moving forward. For you to sit up here and try to sass me and try to work your way through this to excuse your disrespect and how whatever you are, I don't need to take that. And again, I'm going to file a complaint against you because I'm not, what you mean it's a pretty universal thing? I asked you, it's not universal.
Okay.
No, that is not universal. And if it's so universal, it has different meanings. And I'm not going to sit here and tote around your mess.
All right. So do you want to get this case
No,
finished?
do you want to get this case finished? Because it's not finished. You haven't even went out there and inspected. If you are, you too busy trying to outstand me and do all these different things instead of handling your business and being professional. Since you so bright and smart or whatever it is that you can just feel like you or assume that you could just walk over whoever calls. Do you handle all your calls like that if someone has a question? Are those your remarks in particular to everybody?
It's pretty across the board, yeah. So this isn't getting the inspection. This is just putting the case in, just so you're aware. So this is just putting the case in for the inspector to look at and then schedule an inspection from here.
Okay, and so now that I know that I'm speaking to you and I'm calling to the city of Kenosha who has particular standards and are really concerned about the way I talk and others talk, then this is what I'm saying. Why did you say that? Why did you just tell me that statement?
Tell you which statement?
The thing that you just said, that I'm Jasmine Renee Davis, not ma'am. Do not refer to me as ma'am. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis.
I didn't call you ma'am. I just asked which statement you were referring to.
What did you say after what statement that you asked?
There's multiple things that I had just covered. Which statement did you want clarification on?
You just described a process that you all have, and you told me that this isn't the actual inspection. You are gathering information or data. If I can speak for my own self. Why did you say that? I did not ask you anything about that. So I just want to know so that I can hold a conversation. What does that have to do with what I'm talking to you about now? And so what's the result that you're looking for from that statement?
I'm informing you on the process of how entering a complaint works. So you can have extra information, which would be beneficial for knowing how the process works on our end, that this is just entering the complaint. So I'm entering it, and it will be sent to the inspector, and then the inspector is the one that goes out and looks at the property.
Is there some reason why you believe that I do not understand what is happening, that you're just entering in a complaint, and I know that you're not doing the actual inspection right now?
This is information we cover with everybody that calls in. So
Okay.
it's just added information for any complainant who calls in at any time.
So that does not mean that you do not have a flawed system, and then you should appropriately speak to people, and perhaps you should look at how you are addressing the information that you have, and when you input these different things in conversation, the way that you are interrupting what I'm saying, or you're speaking in a specific tone that you say, I don't even know. You're saying things like, oh, it's universal, and you're saying different things out of your mouth that I don't understand. You're telling me, okay, that's universal, as if I'm supposed to understand what you're saying. You did not say an exact word. Any word that you say, I can ask you, can you tell me the term? Whether or not you want to stay on the phone and discuss that, that is a problem. This is still your job. Anybody can call. You do not assume that I know anything about your language in particular. Okay?
That's why I'm also filling you in on our process, because I'm not assuming that you know. So I'm filling you in on our process.
No, you're not filling me in. And also, that's what you thought that you were about to do, but I'm speaking. Okay. And so when I have some different questions, then you should be able to listen to what I'm saying to you. Okay. And reply accordingly or reply properly without trying to I don't know exactly what you're doing, but I don't appreciate having to go through this inappropriate thing. Now, I have my own problems, and I find that whether you like it or not, okay, whatever you choose, however you choose to do it, you are being inappropriate to me because you are saying things like, when I ask you a question, it's as if I'm supposed to know what you're saying, and it's not. When I say things like, you want to get this finished when I'm talking, and I tell you it is not finished, and then you say the one thing or whatever. So can you just look at the situation as you have a job to do? You're supposed to hear what I'm saying. If I choose to ask you different questions, you are supposed to answer them, even if it takes one day or whatever. Or if you're not the proper person, then you need to hire, the city of Kenosha needs to hire someone that can handle language and translations. And then also you need to be careful of the outside language that you bring in there that you do not want to explain. Not everybody is going to tolerate this, and not everybody's going to sit on this phone and talk to you. Some people are going to file lawsuits because other people have stuff to do other than, like, I have other stuff to do with my day. I do not have to go. I can sue the city of Kenosha for even having these buildings messed up around here. I don't have to warrant inspections. I don't have to do anything like that. You are becoming a liability to your office the way that you are treating this phone call. And it seems like you're trying to make that a sustainable culture there, and I won't accept it. At no point are you being accused of harassment. At no point are you being accused of being inappropriate, or I'm saying it, but you're not getting a municipal ticket or a criminal charge. You're just talking and saying whatever you want to on the phone, and just, behaving as if I called your personal phone. I did not call your personal phone. And it does not matter who your supervisors and how they let y'all talk on the phone. They also have people to answer to. They are not the owners of Kenosha. They are not the owners who is going to sit up here. I am my own boss, okay? And I'm going to tell you that if I call and you're being inappropriate on the phone and you are doing whatever, I'm going to speak on it. If I find that you are doing your job incorrectly, I'm going to speak on it. If I find that you are prohibiting me from making a proper phone call, or if I have to constantly raise my voice and I have to, if I feel the need to cry, or you're abusing me and things like that, those issues are going to be significantly addressed. I am not going to allow you all to sit up on this phone. If I say something to you, I mean it. For you to address other issues, you are well aware, and you're being unprofessional to bring up other conversations, and each of these reports are different. I did not speak on another address, so you do not speak to me on another address. You may ask for permission if you can ask questions about those, but I have to take care of the task at hand. I'm not sure who is training you all, but you are not here to train me. I'm not even here to train you. I'm here to get my point across. And my point is valid. And I'm not going to have you seeing that if you can outwit me, or if it's some kind of contest or anything like that. I'm not competing with you. And I'm not going to accept it. You are putting your words together. That's fine. You can be as clever as you want to be. But you also have to be appropriate in what you're saying and own up to your words. Like you said, you're pretty across the board. I don't know what that means. When I ask you, is that how the way that you speak to me on the phone, is that how you talk to other people? Your reply was, it's pretty across the board.
Yeah, I know my reply. I know what I said.
And so what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't care. I don't care. No, I'm not finished. And I told you that. What does that mean when you say it's pretty across the board?
Then I'm going to have to terminate the phone call.
Wait, what did you just say? What did you just say?
If this complaint cannot be entered, I'm going to need to terminate the phone call because we are not gaining any ground.
No,
right now.
and you know what? You say those words out, but you're putting out a fight here and you're doing things and you're saying stuff to me. It's not finished because you're saying stuff on my phone call during my statement on a public record that's going on record. I asked you, what do you mean when you say it's across the board when you answer my question? I'm not playing with you.
Did you want me to transfer you to Lindsay?
No, for what? For what? No, for what? I asked you the question. What do you mean when it's pretty across the board?
So
it doesn't have anything.
So did you want to talk to somebody else?
Listen, I promise to you, with every single regard possible, any legitimate factor, you are the one who are saying these things out of your mouth. So you're talking on a public phone line.
Correct.
What did you mean when you say that it's pretty across the board? Because if you're treating every person like this or whatever you mean pretty across the board, speak up for yourself. Because if you on this phone slandering or whatever it is that you're doing, then stand up. What do you mean it's pretty across the board? When the way that you are talking to me and the way as if I don't know what I'm talking about is inappropriate. This has nothing to do with your supervisor, and you're not going to continue to do the things that you are doing. And you're not going to continue to do the things that you are doing and then put it off on somebody else. And then they have to accept the backlash and you sitting there probably just waiting to promote your own self. You do not treat people like that. What is your problem? Why? And you know what you're doing. And then you're trying to tell me you're going to try. How you're trying to do your job. And this is your job. This is your job. And it is a problem. You are the one that introduced everything. I came in particular with every professionalism.
I'm going to hang up.
And if you do that, you might as well just walk right out of the door because you decided to quit on your job because this is your job. You are the one that I said everything properly to you on this phone today. You are the one introducing other things into the conversation. I have told you already. I answered the questions. You're telling me I don't like something. I don't know you. I don't have to like you. And that's what you're going to have to realize. I called to Kenosha County.
So our supervisor and our director have been here for this phone call, so they have heard what I have been saying.
Good.
And they have informed me that your complaint will have to go through the detention center.
No, it does not. This complaint, the building inspections. No, I can.
You'll have to call them to get a complaint put in.
No, I can make this complaint with city inspections. And now you all are refusing to take my complaints. This is the classic textbook thing that you all do. You start a fight with me so that you don't have to take a note down and you do not have, and I'm recording this live. I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm glad that you're recording it. You'll have to call the sheriff's office and get it set with them because there's nothing else I can do.
Sheriff office and get set. What set? Say exactly what you mean. What you mean call the sheriff's office?
Okay, your complaint. Call the sheriff's office. There's nothing else we can do.
And who is your director? Put your director on the phone. Who is your director that's sitting there? Put your director on the phone.
Our director is Gary Roberts.
Put him on the phone. Put him on the phone. I apologize, but this is a public call.
All right, I'm getting you to his desk.
No, put him on his phone. I'm not getting on his desk, girl, please. Is it somewhere in there that I can talk?
Good morning, this is Gary.
Gary, what is your name? Gary Roberts?
Gary Roberts.
I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. So you all are constantly being abusive and telling me that I cannot call and make complaints about buildings there and I have to call the sheriff's department?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Because that's a different entity. That's another entity that you would have to complain with them. That's a county entity, not a city entity.
Okay, and so why, when the whole time I'm going through this, why wasn't that told to me when you all got the address initially?
I can't answer that, but I can tell you now that you need to call the sheriff's office.
Okay, and the sheriff's office do not handle building inspections. So why are you telling me to call to the sheriff's office? And what sheriff's office?
What sheriff's office are you complaining about?
I didn't call to complain about a sheriff's office.
So your complaint is not about something at the jail?
I called you about Kenosha County, and you all can't handle buildings. I just called about Kenosha County Detention Center.
Yeah, that's the jail.
Okay. And so the sheriff's office does not, you are building inspections. So who is the county building inspector?
I don't know the county. I don't work for them.
And so you don't take complaints about the jail either?
No, we don't.
So why did I just stay on the phone with Lindsay for all that time
I
filing a
can't answer
complaint?
that question, ma'am. I don't know why.
What you mean, why? But you sit up here.
If you have an
And
issue
so-
with that jail or any conditions within that jail, you need to call the sheriff's office.
No, I don't. You listen, I'm going to just tell you this
No,
straightforward.
you listen.
Uh-huh.
You're not going to call here and harass my employees.
Harass your employees? How
You're
could
not
I ever?
going to do that.
Why are you accusing me of harassing your employees?
I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm telling you what you're not going to
You
do.
don't tell me what to do.
So call the sheriff's
You need to,
office
first
for
of
that.
all, while you trying to tell me what to do, you don't even tell them, you're not even telling the people that fucking work there with you what to do. You're not even taking care of your employees and telling them how to do their job. You sitting up there and you're going to try to reprimand me and you're not going to front on me for them. Believe that. I'm going to walk over here into that room and I'm going to go here because I'm not about to get kicked out of here. But that nigga got it all messed up. I mean that. He's sitting up here. She going to say that it's unprofessional. I do not care. They sitting here trying to impress these little girls and try to get up into something that they don't have no business doing. I'm not about to play with this shit.
Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. excluding holidays.
As a matter of fact, don't trip. They sit up there and they claim they so smart. I'm so happy that I'm doing this. People have to realize the whole thing. This is what they constantly do. Now, what's the point where she called her supervisor and all them having them to listen to the phone call? They are trying to build a case. I did not say anything inappropriate to them whatsoever. At all. And then the way that he talking to me, now they quick to say I'm harassing them. How is it that I'm harassing them? And I'm asking them not to be inappropriate with me. They don't, but anybody can call and they're going to try to say that I'm harassing them. How am I harassing them? How is that harassing? And they go say, oh, I'm just telling you what you're not going to do. Why did you even bring that in the conversation? They quick to hang up the phone. These niggas, they sitting there collecting money and getting paid and not doing their jobs while they sitting there and they just doing nothing but slaving people around and not doing a motherfucking thing around here. Kenosha is falling the fuck apart. And they do not care because they are raggedy themselves. They're good for nothing. Constantly, over and over again. This is the real Kenosha. That on these phone calls, this is what's real. Why they talking about visit Kenosha? For what? Well, you come to Kenosha, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's you come here on vacation and leave on probation. The fuck you mean, man? No. I'm not dealing with this stupid shit. I'm calling for legitimate reasons, and I can. And I promise you, she better send that report. I put my time in. I'm sending them an invoice and all of that shit. They are not going to sit up here and waste my time. Those people should have already knew when I gave them the address that they could or could not take that call. She put the address in. She knew exactly. She told me. And that's why I said they on the phone being on bullshit. And it's just me. And they're trying to, what they're doing is trying to just slip a noose around me. Instead, he tried to put it tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter on me. Slowly but motherfucking surely. And when I resist them, yes, I resist their arrest. How the fuck is that a crime to resist arrest? Especially where it has not been investigated. especially where they don't take the facts and see what really happened. I do not have to be arrested where they didn't properly investigate. And they know that. And that woman sat on that phone and she made her comments. And that Lindsay person made those comments and all that stuff on the phone. There's a video right before this one that I'm going to share. And I asked her, okay, what other departments, if this is not the department, what other department would it be? And then there was me having to put up with the constant mess of being made seem like I'm causing them trouble. You're not going to sit up here and constantly run circles and influence all these people just to have them to do a poor job because you want to do something else. If you're not getting around to your long lunch, then you make sure you bring a lunch into the office with you. If you are not handling the things that you have to handle, then you take care of it. On my live videos, I show I'm on all through the day. I'm eating when I want to. I'm not choking on my food. I'm still hydrating. I'm still doing everything that I'm supposed to do accurately and independently. It's not stopping me. They are abusive. And I'm calling and I'm handling it because I should not have to go to these places, plug up some in this building I'm in right now, and it's a spark. At what point is somebody going to have enough where everything they want to just burn down? People are coming to these places for serious matters. And they are not tending to them properly. They do not care. But then they're gathering all this data and information about somebody. And what they're doing, selling it to Google. So Google can make artificial intelligence or they can do something. I don't know what they're doing. I'm just wanting to know what they're doing with it. They probably got their own situation, their own intelligence. I do not care. What you think artificial intelligence is gathering information. It's going to tell you relevant and pertinent information about everything. I don't know what these people are doing. They have CIA, all kinds of things. I don't know who created these buildings or whatever, but they are putting muscle memory all in their stuff so much where their machines are they're claiming that it's impacting their machines, that their machine, they have so much information stored in their machines that they can no longer have people to print a specific amount of copies. 25 sheets per person or something, per time or something like that. When are you going to transfer the data out of there so that your machine can properly work? One person may come here. This is supposed to be a job center. They might have to print out a 25-page pamphlet for one thing, a 25-page pamphlet for something to get the job. What is it that somebody come in here and can get a job if they have proper things, but cannot get it because it's reflecting on how they're handling their stuff and mishandling. It's inappropriate. I do not care. These people are constantly trying to make me seem like I'm nothing. And they know exactly my name. There ain't no way them people just talking to me and don't know me. My name. They are abusive. That man sit up there and they all work together. It's a crime and it's a conspiracy. They have worked together as an organized crime to make sure they stole my dad's house from me. Because my dad didn't have shit to do. He did not agree to that. He had a so-called stroke. And I don't believe it. And right away, they gonna try to put a diaper on my dad. And they lazy ass motherfuckers won't even come in here to make sure my dad can get up and go to the bathroom. People that were in that hospital room was walking him to the bathroom. Them fucking nurses was not showing up. They don't give a fuck. Kenosha is lazy than a motherfucker. How many minutes from a goddamn Navy base? What the fuck you mean, man? These motherfuckers come here apparently to die. This ain't shit but a motherfucking sick state. This is a fucking infirmary. Fuck you. I promise you. They can call the police, do whatever they want to do, but it still all remains the same. Call them on yourself, though. I should be able to call legitimately and call and handle my matters appropriately. These people already know. When I was in the jail, I was making, they don't care. They're not doing anything. I had to tell them, I said, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go into the back of the wall, turn the pressure up, turn the pressure. They know how to turn the pressure up. They know how to make it more hot water. They know how to make it more cold water. They have to manually flush the toilets, all kinds of stuff. They know some of them, it don't make any sense for some of those officers to know how to do it and other officers don't. I was there. The man had to go. He said he had to learn how to do it. And I'm sitting there talking to them, telling them, okay, this and that. Okay, yes, this is how you're supposed to do it. All that stuff. I was in there again. Just in April, I had to tell them, no, you're supposed to go in here. There's barely any water coming out of the faucet. They want to sit up here and gather this information and see where I'm coming from constantly. Just to hear where I'm at, to give them a head start, to figure out a way to fight me while they watch me and find my location and send some random person over here to probably step on my shoestring or do some dumbass shit to me so that I can snap. Because this is my body. I guarantee if I go to an armor truck, if I walk into the bank and open up that safe, that alarm is going to sound. If I walk out of the store and if I steal something that is not mine, that alarm is going to sound. So don't you tell me that you could protect yourself and how you choose to live your life isn't the extension of you, and I cannot protect myself and how I choose to live my life, and this is my whole own body. They are committing crimes. They are abusing people all of the time. And it's inappropriate for them to not even know this is the so-called director. So how is it their director don't even know who the county person is, but they have the nerve or they have enough information to say that, oh, this goes to the county. And I already knew. I told her, I said, don't just say stuff. Say, I already knew, but I never was assuming for her. I told her, they're just saying stuff because they have to be so smart. They are out here, and I already said, I'm not about to sit up here and try to get in relationship with people that I'm not big enough for. I'm not about to try to do stuff that I'm not prepared for and waste time and humiliate myself and miss my chances for a stability and a secure and a sound opportunity. These people are playing around, and what they're doing is taking up seats and space of people that are qualified. There are people right now who are unemployed that can handle these jobs, and they're sitting there training these people on the job. They don't, let me tell you something, them white women, or whoever, girls or whoever, don't even have to have degrees. They were in the parks department and all that stuff. They told me that they did not have to have, she didn't have a degree for her job. She didn't even know her job. I have the recording, and they were abusive toward me. And I was just calling, trying to figure out why are these bathrooms not open at these parks and you got people out here all day? There were people trying to beat them doors down, kick the doors. It's indents all on the doors. They're abusive. Kenosha is abusing everybody. Talking about, oh, they used to be open before. Open those doors. You're punishing everybody because you're lazy. If you don't have a park ranger, you don't have anyone patrolling, that's these people's goddamn park. Not yours. Not while you're on the clock. This is everybody's stuff that has to do, it's more theirs while you are working than it's more theirs than it's yours. How I'm going to sit there and walk past my own stuff that I'm having to pay money, you forcing me to pay tax, I can't even use it. People sitting out there, and then there's all kind of churches and all kinds of stuff coming out there recruiting children, talking to children, telling them to come to all kind of different studies and stuff, and not even telling them, oh, show up this place, show up. They got everybody coming through there doing whatever they want to do because it's a public place. But then can't nobody use the bathroom, but then a police officer can ride up on his motorcycle and use the key and go right in the bathroom. But then and call the police on me. Oh, man. I'm Jasmine Davis. This is a problem. My phone's ringing. I didn't get to it in time. But how is it that those police officers can walk right in with a key and go in? So it's telling you, they're just riding through. Somebody sit out there playing and they're going to have the nerve to give me a ticket. Somebody at the park and playing all day. People play sports out there all day. And they have to pay maybe to open it up. Yeah. But there's people who do not pay them that are playing. They practice. What about when they come to practice? They don't open the bathrooms up. They don't put electricity out there. If you don't want to put the electricity open the bathrooms though. People they don't even have water fountains or nothing. That's a park. Them little bitty samples, they just got enough to get the money and constantly get the money out there, the resources. And I guarantee if somebody came through there and walked through there, they will open up every goddamn thing and have it like it's all open. And all somebody can say, well, it was open when I was there. And they go right back to jailing everybody and disrespecting people constantly over and over again. How suitable is that, though? These people are constantly playing and wasting time. Oh, so you didn't just harass me? I guess you want to say that I wanted to call and say all that information? There was no lies. There was no dishonesty or anything detected at all. The fuck you mean? Sitting there, oh, and then they say these little comments or whatever, smirks or whatever it is. What do you mean? I'm telling you that I know for a fact that you cannot just go up there and walk through there. You have to actually do your job and inspect. I know that y'all not about, but shit, why not? Why not have somebody to really investigate and go and see what it's like in the living situations? I've been there. So if you don't want to take your ass to jail for harassing and doing the things that you need to do, then accept my motherfucking call, because I've been in there. And I was born in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And these motherfuckers cannot just say, and I'm not their property. I do not have to constantly go through the trouble and them telling me how the fuck I'm harassing them. Is it harassment because they dumb? Because they do not want anybody to tell them anything, and they sitting up here acting like I'm a member of them. Now they want to try to figure out if I'm like that. People, I listen to what is appropriate. I can follow instructions. And that woman came over here and asked me to quiet down, and I tried to quiet my voice as best as I could. But that was not natural for me. But I'm fucking trying. So I don't want people to try to make it seem like I'm being inappropriate. I'm not doing the stuff that I'm supposed to do in my life, and I'm not handling my business appropriately. Meanwhile, they got, you know what I'm saying, all kind of reports. I don't know what these people choosing to do when they get in office to hide the stuff that they did to me when they were not in office. Shit, man. And it's me crying because I know they abuse me. And then I don't want to be unprofessional and say, you're abusing me. I'm not about to let them believe that they just bullying me, that they fighting me. But it is abuse. And it's not just only that, it's internal abuse from them internally. The fuck you mean internal affairs? I'm not trying to get in some goddamn affair with you. Shit, man. Constantly have to deal with the stupidest shit over and over again from them dumbass motherfuckers. And he gonna try to have the nerve to try to tell me what to do. And then I'm trying to tell you're not even telling your own employees what to do. What makes you think that you gonna come and boss me? Everybody wanna boss me. Why they on the outside looking in? Shit. Man, please. I'm about to watch it. What? I'm about to call it. Yeah, I'm a call. Because ain't nobody going to say, they told you who to call and you did not call. So you might as well sit down. And everybody that's coming, they can sit down too.
Kenosha County Sheriff's Department.
I'm asking, who am I talking to?
Hello?
What's your name?
Chris?
Chris? Okay, I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. Can you tell me your position there at the Kenosha County Sheriff's Office?
Administrative Assistant.
Okay, administrative assistant. And so I am calling about some issues with the building inspections at the Kenosha County Jail and the Kenosha County Detention Center. And I want to be able to address those matters. Who is it that I talk to, or do you take those calls, or who takes those calls?
So you want to make a complaint? What you want to do?
I did not say that, but I would like to know.
Can you repeat what you said then?
No, I don't have to. I can tell you exactly what I'm saying. Are you the person who would take the calls if someone has some comments about the building inspections at the Kenosha County Jail, the pretrial facility, or the Kenosha County Detention Center? Can you please just try to pay attention?
To me, that would be a complaint. You're wanting to make a statement, correct?
Can you please answer my question? The question
sorry?
that I asked you, though?
I can't hear you.
Who can I talk to about inspections, building inspections at the Kenosha County Detention Center and the Kenosha
Hold on
County
1 second. Let me find out.
Jail Pretrial Facility? One step at a time. Shit, don't sit here and fuck up my words. Because I'm about to read all into this. Everything don't have to be a complaint. But it is so many. To me that, okay, is that what your job tells you to do? If it is, then, and then you're not going to say it, so then what you going to take the fall for being told this? You come there with your own etiquette, with your own everything for the job. Is it nice that you send a memo out into everybody and let them know what language you done brought up into the Kenosha County Sheriff Office today? Logical things so that this place can advance and become more beautiful. To bring revenue and proper transportation through here. Please, they ain't in it to win, man. They believe they already have it. Yeah, they have it already. Ugh. Serious.
Looking into this. Do you want to still hold?
Oh, I can hold the phone call, sure.
Okay, hold on.
Where is it? So much on here. Like this up here, and then there. I was trying to pick this up. So I just had to. There's no more paper jammed up in there, so now there's not. Everybody's saying I'm harasser on this motherfucker. No, what I am is not your personal trainer. There it is. It took me a little bit. Slow. Okay.
Hello?
I'm Jasmine Renee Davis.
Hi.
Who are you?
I Googled it. The person that would do those reports is at the Office of Detentions Facilities. Would you like their number?
Okay, let's see here. Office. Okay, and so where is the Office of Detention Facilities located?
I have no idea where it's located. I have a name and a phone number.
You said
That's
you Googled it?
I'm sorry?
You said you Googled that?
I did.
Can you email me what you Googled, that Google search?
No, I cannot email
Why?
you. I
Why?
can give you,
You did it
the
on a
name
public
and the
computer.
phone number of what I have.
Okay, hold on now. What's your name?
Chris.
Chris, but you did it on a public computer.
Okay, yes, you're correct. I did.
I'm
This is my
Jasmine
work
Renee
computer.
Davis.
I
It's
have
a
people
work
standing
computer.
here waiting for me. I can give you the phone number
No,
and the gentleman's name.
Wait a minute. Okay, so you're gonna hurry me along with what I called about because there's other people there that you
No,
rather
I'm
take
not
care
hurrying
of.
you along.
Yes,
I'm
you
giving you
are.
what you're asking me for.
No, I didn't. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you are not.
Yes, I am. You
No.
asked me who has the inspection reports for the jails. Who deals with that?
I didn't ask who.
I
wait a
Googled
minute.
it, and this is
What
what
did
it
you
gave
say?
me.
I said you said that I asked who has the inspection reports.
You asked me who deals with the inspections of the jails,
Who
of the
had
county
this
jail and of the jail here in town, correct? Is that not what you asked me?
You told me that you Googled that information, but you don't know where that office is located.
I do not. I have in front of me
So-
Office of Detention Facilities with the gentleman's name, who is the director, and the phone number. That's what I
So-
have.
And when you Googled it, I'm just asking because I want to know where I'm calling. I'm not just going to call some random place and it's not the appropriate place. How do you know that is where you're supposed to? Who told you that I'm supposed? No, who told you that? Listen, please. I don't listen. You have an obligation to be appropriate on this phone, and you
And
are
I am
choosing.
being appropriate.
That sheriff is took an oath of office that he has to uphold the Constitution. Okay,
Who
and you are
what
violating.
Are you talking about?
Listen, you are
I
violating.
am not a
No, yes,
sheriff.
you are.
I am a
Are you?
secretary.
Oh, but you work in the sheriff's. That's why they changed it now to the sheriff office so that he can have more authority. So that can be his office. That's why it's not the sheriff department anymore. That's why it's the sheriff's office. You are a representation of that man.
you like
No,
this phone
I'm
number?
gonna ask you a question, and I'm very thorough about what I'm saying, and I know exactly what I'm doing. And then I don't have to have any right to give you, okay? I can have my own rules and the way that I present myself.
Correct. You can.
Okay,
You can.
and I don't need you to acknowledge that for me or agree or disagree or validate that. I asked you, who is it that told you that those are the people and how did you get that information? And that's who I'm
I
supposed to
Googled-
call.
Who inspects the Wisconsin jails? And this is what it gave me.
Okay, but that could be inaccurate information. If you did not get that from inside
You're
you,
right. You're right. It could be.
so why are you just giving out this information without validating it? And you don't even want to send a reference and any proof of who you, that is inappropriate.
Well, this is what I have.
That
So
is
if
not
you'd
what
like
you
this, I
have.
can
That
give
is
you
not
this.
what you have. That is what you choose to give out. That is not your job. You are supposed to ask someone inside of that office who. You're not supposed to just Google random stuff and just take it upon yourself and give out anything to people. No, you're not. That is inappropriate. You don't even know the location. You didn't even look as far as to see who it is. No,
That's what I have.
no, that's not. Please ask someone there. Please ask someone
Okay,
there.
hold on.
Discretion, discrimination, prejudice, unprofessionalism. You still work there? Shit, man, please. That's some unprofessional shit if I ever seen any, man. Bitch ain't about to send me on no motherfucking, man, no. You are being exposed. I am being exposed. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. This is at this point. I have to make sure I put my name on here. And I'm putting some red on here. This is ridiculous. And that other video. Oof. I have another video too. That all this should have been on the same video. I'm gonna figure it through that. That bullshit. I'm about to say, how is my phone trying to reconnect now? I don't have to speak in their terms. But when they gonna try to learn the language that I'm talking to them and understand appropriately, they don't have to. So what is the language that you all stand your principles on? How about that? This is serious.
Hello?
I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. Who are you?
Chris?
Okay, Chris.
I am on the Department of Corrections website. State of Wisconsin Department of Corrections.
Why are you telling me that?
Because that's where I got the information from. So if you'd like to go on State of Wisconsin Department of Corrections, you can get the same information I have.
No, that is not the appropriate information. There is someone in Kenosha that can handle these matters. And did you? No, you didn't even know what I was talking about, but you choose to just Google stuff and send people on their way just by Googling?
This is what you asked me for.
No, it's
you
not. No, it is not. No, it is not. I did not ask you to Google something randomly. No, I did not. You don't just Google stuff. There is no, you have a specific directory there. Get it off of the directory at the sheriff's office in Kenosha, Wisconsin, please. Not Google. You have a job to do.
Do you not want this information?
Let me tell you something. I'm going to ask you, and I'm appreciating it, and this is an order.
I'm sorry?
I said it's an order. What you sorry about being unprofessional? There is a directory there. Do not Google. No, I won't accept your Google submission. Please ask the appropriate person there who is in charge of it. No, do not go to no Google. Get it from the directory itself that is there. You all have the information. It's time for you to actually do your job. Please. You are about to be sued. You are abusing me right now. I do not like this. And you want to talk about harassment? You are harassing. I do not want you doing this on this phone call. Please answer my question, and it is valid, and you are prohibiting that. I'm not accepting some random Google that you don't even know about.
It's the state of Wisconsin.
I do not care. That is not what I'm, it does not matter. Where you Googled it randomly without even asking. You didn't even know exactly what I was talking about. Please.
Would you like me to transfer you to the jail so you can ask them?
No, I'm supposed to call the sheriff department, and I know who I'm calling, and the jail is from the sheriff's department, the sheriff's office.
But they're the ones who deal with the stuff that goes on over at the jail.
What did you say? Because are you sure about that? So why did you tell me to contact the Department of Corrections then, and not the jail?
They'll probably tell you the same place.
No, you know what? You please just ask someone that knows about this information. This is not your job there. Apparently you don't have the information. There's a directory that you all have, and you know different departments who take care of different things within the county and within the sheriff's office. That sheriff is part of the sheriff's office there. I am not going to guess who to call and who to talk to. Tell me exactly who to talk to. Protocol. This is an order and a demand. I mean it. I am not playing, and I'm
Detentions is Hector Colts. He's the director.
I'm gonna ask you, please. This is really starting to become a serious complaint about you. Please just get the correct information without randomly Googling. I want validated information. I can Google on my
You can get
own.
that information from the state of Wisconsin.
No. So what are you there for?
To do my job.
What is your job? I don't work for the city of Kenosha. So what is your job?
I'm a secretary.
So what is it that you do there?
Answer phone calls just like I'm doing now.
Okay, and so are you supposed to direct them properly and accordingly and not giving out random information?
And I offered you a phone number off the state of Wisconsin website and the name of the gentleman who is the director of the detention facility.
I'm not impressed. What I'm asking you to please validate it within the sheriff's office. Make sure that's appropriate information, please. You do not know that for sure.
Hold on.
That's why so many people are unstable around here constantly. They talking about I'm harassing. They're not about to send me on my way. They were talking about she here to do her job. What the fuck is your job? You don't. When I came in there, they didn't want to give me the proper things. They don't care. I challenged them to work. You should sit up there and batting your eyes looking pretty for everybody come through this motherfucker. And you gotta have more than a shiny dress. I don't know why they're not taking it so serious. They don't have any attachment. They don't have any sort of care about any of this. I have it. I'm serious about it. No, I'm not accepting. She didn't even really hear what I was saying in the first. She don't even know. She don't even know what it's about. I'm not just gonna call her just about just as a director. Because I called to the building inspector and all that. It's different people. I'm just really good. Now you want me to call you? I'm calling. Sure. You didn't tell me how to speak, and you assume that I'm being vulgar because you're not used to this coming out this pretty mouth or whatever the situation. This is who I am. I didn't ask you to hire me. I'm sitting over here menstruating and all this stuff, trying to take care of things that I have to take care of, and I'm trying to continue to take care of myself. And so I don't want to hear nobody talking about, oh, somebody got to be crazy and go through all. No, it's not. I am controlling myself. And why would I have to say I have to control myself? Why can't I just live my life? What is it to you? I know what I'm doing. This motherfucker, man. It have people all over the place. That's all it is. Having people guessing. They're programming people. Somebody can't even be natural. Too much fake stuff. And she's more good than her. It's other people there. Okay. They got enough seats to go around, enough people in there. Ask somebody else if you need a bigger space. If all these people are coming and it's not enough staff, then why don't you use some of that money? Because you know why? Because you don't have to get that audit and answer to why you're arresting so many people and why you're so overcrowded up in this building. They only have to get every 4 months, they have to make a report so that they can talk about whatever is happening within their department and the money that they're using and money that they're asking for, and where they're going to get some money from and how they're going to get millions of dollars. Kenosha have millions of dollars. They don't ever send out a little check for the people. They don't ever do anything like that.
Jasmine Renee Davis.
I am Jasmine Renee Davis. Why are you saying my name?
I'm sorry?
Why are you saying my name?
So you know I'm talking to you?
What's the problem? Who are you?
I've got two options here for you. I can give you the Kenosha County Detention Center phone number, and they could probably answer your question, or I could give you the Office of Detentions Facilities Department from the state of Wisconsin website. Those are the two options I have.
Who told you? Who did you get this information from? This public information from?
Well, the detention center we have the information for.
No, who told you? What information told you to tell me this particular information, though?
You're asking me for where you would get the information from inspections. Is that not correct?
But you didn't even hear exactly what I was talking about pertaining to
Okay,
the
ma'am.
inspection.
These are the two options I have for you. There's nothing else I can do. And I have other people standing here waiting for me, so
They're
I
waiting
need
for you?
to give you this information or not.
Is
It's
that
up to
true?
you.
So you're doing outside business there? They're waiting for you?
I have other work to do. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but this is your job that I'm calling about. You didn't even ask
Correct,
me what I
correct.
wanted.
And I've been on the phone with you
It does
for
not matter.
about
Yeah.
26 minutes and 54 seconds.
And
And I've been trying to give you the information.
No,
you do
you have
not
not.
want it.
No, I did not tell you whether I wanted it or not, but you don't even know exactly
Okay,
what I'm
so
calling
these
about.
Are the two options I
No,
have for
there's
you.
the two
I'm gonna
options. So,
hang up.
well, I'm going to call right back and talk to someone who's going to handle this call appropriately.
Okay. So
And
you
so-
do not want either one of these phone numbers.
You're trying to give me phone numbers that you do not. I'm not going to work for you. I'm not calling them. I'm not doing all that. I want to call. No, I'm not. I'm not. You need to call. You don't even know exactly what I want, what I'm talking about, anything, and it just
Ma'am,
speaks to
I'm gonna let you go now.
You're not touching me. I guarantee it. What you mean? Let me go. You don't have a hold on me.
wonderful day.
You are
Okay?
so man. Listen, you. I'm telling you. Show you right there how great they are, though, right? She didn't even know. She randomly and then she don't even want to tell me. No, I'm not doing this. It's a constant problem. And so this is how I'm about to handle this. Because you know what? I don't have to be beat up. I call the appropriate people, I take care of it, and they send me all through these places, and I have to show up to all these offices on their motherfucking scholarship or through their referral, not ever on my own. They're going to send me to this, and no, I do not want you introducing me. Kenosha has its way of doing things. What is the information of Kenosha? Because did I file it locally? Did I talk to them locally? Who did I talk? I am not some person that don't know what I'm talking about. And I ask questions. It's already like they don't and they don't care. They don't know how tough this stuff is. They don't know the real work.
Michigan Sheriff's Office.
Okay. May I ask who I'm speaking to, please?
This is Abigail.
Abigail, I'm Jasmine Renee Davis, and I'm calling because I have some questions about the inspections of the buildings. They're through the sheriff's office, and I would like to know the information of who I would talk to within the sheriff's office about these problems, and within the perhaps the city of Kenosha, but pretty much through the sheriff's office in Kenosha, Wisconsin, who I would talk to about these issues.
The jail. I can transfer you.
Are you sure it's the jail?
Yes. The jail and the sheriff is different. Even though we're the same, they have their own supervisors and they have their own, contact for specific questions. We at the sheriff, if you want to talk about patrol, I can transfer you to somebody. But if it's something related to the jail, you have to talk to the jail.
But I didn't exactly tell you. I said within the sheriff's office. So where are you gathering the information about the jail from?
You said the inspections. So you mean the jail. Am I wrong?
I don't know what you are. You see how this is?
What is?
Do you see how this conversation is? Do you see how your phone etiquette is? Do you see how you how you handle calls and you sit there and you have no individuality, no concern or contribution to independence or any issues whatsoever. You all may not drive this thing down.
So how can I help you?
So I'm going to ask you, who do I talk to about building inspections within the sheriff's office?
Okay, I'm going to talk to my supervisor and see if there's somebody.
What is the name of your supervisor, please?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What is the name of your supervisor?
I can check who's in the office. Give me one moment.
You don't.
We have multiple.
So you say your supervisor. You didn't say your supervisors.
Yes.
How many supervisors do you have? Because you did not say plural.
We have 3 for each shift. This is first shift, so I don't know who's in the office. I have to go walk to their office to see who's in there.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, one moment.
Well, I don't even know what okay means. They're not going to just randomly handle my calls. They're not going to. I don't have to. That's what I said. Oh, if I walk around this motherfucker with millions and billions of dollars, then that's going to change. No, I am somebody. I don't need to go through this shit. But they're working on another goddamn lawsuit. I can have commentary, whatever I want to do on my Facebook page about what I'm talking to these people about on this phone. Now, I can talk however I want to talk. And no matter how I change it, it's still not what's really happening here with them. I do not know. Shit, randomly call somebody. No, take care of your matters. I can Google something immediately. Shit. As soon as I Google this shit, it came right up. It shows different words, not all of it. It's saying different places. So I Google Office of Detention Facility. It says all different kinds of things, a whole list of stuff. So it's including, this is what I was putting. So this person randomly accepts this. There's this here. There's this here. There's all of these different places that show you I could have been calling about any of this stuff. I talk about inspections or whatever the situation is in which is valid. But the fact of the matter is I have more to discuss because I have other questions as well as to who deals with it within the city of Kenosha. And I have other questions in particular. I don't have to keep repeating over and over again. This is not a skit. I don't have to do that. This is not a mock call. I'm not going to get in the habit of doing that type of stuff.
Thank you for holding.
Who am I talking to? I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. Who are you, please?
This is Abigail. I talked to Lieutenant Funk. He's the one that's in the office today. And he can talk to you and help you if you want to be transferred.
What is it, Lieutenant who?
Funk.
You can transfer the call, but is that the appropriate person who will handle that matter?
Yes, he told me that he can help you.
I'm not calling to ask for help now. You can transfer a call, though, and see what you are talking about. What did you tell him?
I told him that you needed to talk to somebody in regards to the inspections.
Inspections of what, though?
That's what you told me, ma'am.
Oh, my goodness. Did you tell him exactly what inspections I said?
You can talk to him and explain everything since you don't want to talk to me and I can't really help you.
What are you talking about? When I say I don't want to talk to you, Abigail, I did not say
I
that.
can't really help you with your questions.
You
That's
told
what
me that you
I need to transfer you.
you told me that I don't see. You're slandering me, and that's defamation. You're abusing. I did not say that, but people on the outside are hearing you, and those cameras that are recording are hearing you saying that I said I don't want to talk to you. So it's like I'm refusing to allow myself to get the information that I'm calling about. I did not tell you that I did not want to talk to you.
That's why I'm not.
So
I mean, I was looking for somebody to give you those answers. Do you not want their help?
you're not going to accuse me of anything and try to gaslight
I'm
this
not
situation.
accusing you. I'm just saying that he can give you the answers.
No,
I
but
can't.
you told, but so you're telling me that why don't you speak for yourself? Don't speak for me. Why don't you say you don't have the information? Because gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse where someone manipulates another person into doubting their own perception, memory, or sanity. It is a way to exert control by distorting reality and making the victim question their own judgment. The term comes from 1944 film Gaslight, where the husband manipulates his wife into believing she's losing her mind. And I'm not telling you, giving you any authority or anything, or telling you that you're trying to convince me of that, but that is a form of gaslighting. Okay? Manipulation. The power dynamic is when gaslighting is often used to maintain power and control in a relationship, often in abusive situations. And so I'm going to ask you all to not tell me that I'm doing something that I'm not doing when it's you that you have the problem. But you rather sit up here and push me into a situation to what are you doing? So to protect your job and to protect your lack of information and to make it seem like that I'm doubting you that's not what's happening here. I did not tell you. I know how to not talk to you. I know how to get off the phone. I know how to tell you that I don't want to talk to you. I called your job. I did not call your personal phone. You are the same person that wouldn't even give me the email address to your job. So and like I said, I'm not talking to you about your personal stuff. I called to Kenosha County, to Kenosha Sheriff's Office. Not to you, Abigail, at your own personal. This has nothing to do with you. Not wanting to talk to you. I want to talk to whatever it is that you're supposed to do at your job. So I never told you that I did not want to talk to you, and that is an offense.
I'm gonna hang up. I have other calls coming, and I can't be.
Well, so why are you steady?
There's nothing I can do to help you other than transfer you.
So why are you steady making offenses then? If you have other stuff to do, how do you find enough time to make offenses?
We have other calls. I'm trying to help you, and you don't seem to be willing to take. I said I found the person you were looking for. You don't want to talk to them, so how can I help you then? I
did not tell you that I don't want to talk to them. I asked you, what did you tell them? You did not tell them what I said. So you are not.
I will transfer you so you can tell them. And
so that means that I may not my call may not be routed to the appropriate person. If you don't find the relevance in what I'm saying, if you choose not to put in the work or whatever, I'm not going to be the one to replace you, and you're not to replace me. The problem is you are prohibiting me from handling my stuff that I have to handle. And
ma'am, I'm helping you. I'm trying to transfer
you are not the person to help me.
You.
I didn't call for help. I called to ask questions. Do your job.
Help you with your questions. Okay.
He can't help me with my questions. They want me to say that I'm getting help.
Lieutenant Funk speaking.
What's your name?
Lieutenant Funk.
How do you spell that, please?
F-O-N-K.
Okay. I am Jasmine Renee Davis. Is there a reason why my call was transferred to you today, please?
My understanding that you had questions about jail inspections.
Who was the person to tell you that?
That would have been one of the people who at our front counter.
Okay, so you don't know that, because I have a right to. I know that I can ask questions and get exact names.
Okay.
And so who is the exact person who told you that? Because this is proper. And now this is becoming more an investigative issue as well of the conduct and the things within and things within your office, including the contamination now, because this is becoming a real serious matter. Who told you that I called and asked about jail inspections though? See how this stuff is. It's just simple things.
Yep, hold on. So I can get the correct name.
Please. I'm just crying all the time. And then I'll have concerns, retaliation, all kinds of things that they might and might not do. I don't know these people, but they're accusing me of doing stuff that I'm not doing. Simple stuff.
That was Abigail Gutierrez.
I did not mention to Abigail. You said Gutierrez. How do you spell her last name? How do you spell that name?
Butierre.
Butire.
G is in George.
G.
U is in G. E is in Tom. I is in Ida. Is in Edward. R is in Robert. R is in Robert. E is in Edward. Z is in Zebra.
Gutierrez.
Correct.
Okay, and so is Abigail spelled which way?
Abigail.
Okay, yeah, I didn't spell that right. Abigail.
Abigail.
Abigail. Is that what you said?
Like Adam.
Okay.
Boy. Ida. George. Adam. Ida. Lincoln.
Okay. So Abijail. Wait, George G, right? Ugh, I'm tripping right now. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm calling. I did call about talking to someone about the inspections about Kenosha County Jail, the pretrial facility. And about...
So which inspections are you're questioning?
No, you're not gonna. No. You're not gonna host my call and give me a template for this call. I'm going to tell you exactly why I'm calling, and that's just how it's going to be legitimized here today. Please, Lieutenant Funk. Okay, that's just how it is. And if you don't want to accept it that way, then you don't necessarily have to. That's your right. But this call has to be handled from somewhere there appropriately. I'm trying to speak, and if you can handle the call, all of the questions will be answered because this is the reason for my call. I'm going to tell you the reason for my call. Is there a specific template that you all are working off of? What is that form number and how do I access that form?
There is no specific template that I am aware of.
Well, perhaps if you say that there's none that you are aware of, what do you mean by that?
Because I don't exactly know which template you're talking about.
Okay, so then perhaps can you just ask me if you find that you don't know what I'm talking about? Can you just ask me, like Jasmine Renee Davis, what exactly do you mean by a template or a form? And then that way you can answer, because you said that you didn't know, but you said there is not one. You didn't say that there could be one, but you're not sure because you don't know exactly what I'm asking. And so it causes problems, because what it does is give me a default sort of conversation where I don't get what it is, and it's like avoided sort of situation. So I'm being my phone call is being routed, then I'm on like this blank sort of situation, and nothing is getting solved here, and the problems that are occurring are still existing, and nothing is being handled, and everything just remains the same, and it's becoming more of a liability, and to the point where things just break down, fall apart, and it costs way more money as far as lawsuits, as far as repairs, as far as hiring practices, as part of all these sort of resources, and as far as integrity and trust within the city of Kenosha, the state of Wisconsin, United States of America, and throughout the world. This is that deep. But what I'm asking you is just hear what I have to say, and then within that, you can ask the questions that you have to ask, because I'm going to tell you exactly why I called. That's the only reason why I have called. I've been working on this stuff for hours now. Seriously, it's been well over 2 hours, close to 3 hours, and I'm still not getting the answers that I was not intending to not get the proper. My intention is to just call appropriately, properly, and get the appropriate information. However amount of time that it does take, but I'm just letting you know, I'm not only just trying to call and not know what I'm talking about, but if you could, please, if you have your questions, that's fine, but I still have to say what I have to say. I mean, that's only fair. I'm trying to be, allow that, okay, if you want a fair situation, whatever, but I realize things are not always fair coming toward me, and I have to handle them accordingly. But I don't want to be violent, I don't want to be abusive, and I don't want that sort of thing to be inflicted on me. All I'm saying is I did call to the sheriff's office to ask about who handles the building inspections for problems within the Kenosha County Jail pretrial facility, and also individually, because it could be a combination of the things, but they're different buildings, but it's a city problem too, and it's a county issue as well. Please, locally, with the Kenosha County Detention Center, I have issues of different problems that would also range from health code violations to different inspection issues to safety and all kinds of things, including a lot of negligence, a lot of unlawful punishments, a lot of all kinds of things that have to be handled. When you all are addressing these issues, you have to see it more than just one way. Like I called to Kenosha building inspectors. Okay. Those people were not properly handling my calls. Okay. Including, supervisor, director, all these people. I spoke to someone, gave one report or whatever. That person they could only handle the building part of the inspections. Okay. To a specific dynamic. But when you look at the holistic approach of a whole building inspection, you're going to look at what is the negligent? Why these things, the people who work there, how come they're not reporting them? How come this stuff is not being brought to the appropriate attention? Why is this stuff continually happening for these extended amounts of periods and years? How come it's a constant problem? What is happening? Even are you all getting the proper toilet paper or what is, it's not only that. I'm not going to even sit there and blame it on that. Do you have the proper toilets that you are installing in these places. You know, you all may, you probably have to change different things. I don't know, how some of the toilets sit very low, they're kind of, different things. They're very tight spaces and it's not always appropriate or whatever. But there is an abuse factor that comes along with this whole inspection thing. I have different concerns on many levels. I went to, it was a Monday. Okay, May 19th, I tried to go into the jail administration building and speak to someone about some issues and to file the complaints and do the things that I have to do. And I was told that was not the place to go to the sheriff department, the sheriff office. And I already tried to make a report with the sheriff's office about something different, but to stay on topic. I went in there and you all secretaries or your administrative assistants were vulgar-like toward me in a way where they were, we already gave you forms. Fill it out there. Like, they didn't want to the point where I walked off because I didn't want to get arrested because it was that serious at that point. They, if you all know that I have different issues, I have stuff to handle every day. I'm an independent person. I have many problems that I have to handle, and it's not up to you to decide how many problems I come there with. You all may not tell me that I cannot come and talk about different issues. You don't say, that's all you get to do for today. You're not going to treat me like that. These are serious matters, and you all are constantly arresting me on false allegations and all these different things. And I'm going through these problems. Your people are fighting me and all these different things. And I'm going to the appropriate places, and you all should handle them. I should not call, and your employees there are just Googling random stuff, not knowing what I'm talking about, not asking me in particular, not anything. You cannot assume the direction that I want to take my call in, especially if I'm calling the actual place that controls. This is the sheriff's office. If that sheriff, first of all, I have a call into him. He have not called me back. I was told that he would call me back within a day or within last week. He has not returned my call. No one has, not the community resource officer or anything. Okay. And so I'm calling. I'm not going to continue to make these people assume that I do not have things, but I have to take care of my matters. I should not have to go to these places and watch Kenosha just look like garbage everywhere and trash. The people, everything. You all it seem like you do not care. All you doing is just running through and walking over everybody, not caring, and then had the nerve to try to, deal. It's almost like and I don't want to say this to be rude, I'm not asking for it, but it's almost like you're doing mass graves. And not only to the people, but to the buildings, to everything around here that people have put money into. My dad owned a home there for over 30. So don't even until the county, the nursing home Brookside figured out a way with the city of Kenosha to do everything they can to steal that house. And it went too far where they put false lawsuits and everything, where I was forced to sell it in a fraudulent transaction as it is, where it wasn't, these people tore up the house before they even purchased the house and all this different stuff. It was just a terrible thing that happened. But I have interest in Kenosha. Okay, and it'll not have to be inheritance or anything, or next in line or anything. What is proper is proper. That I'm calling you addressing the issue today. And you all are not going to constantly treat me like I'm out of my mind and that you can't handle it does not matter what your opinion or your view of me or what your paperwork says. If I'm calling you and I'm talking with a valid thing that you all handle or whatever, you are supposed to take the call. Don't tell me, you can say it, but it's inappropriate. Somebody else, you have a job to do. Since when is this not your job? I called your job. So I'm not here to kick it with you, and I'm not here to fake kick it. I'm not here to join a party or anything. I'm calling with a valid reason. But because I'm Jasmine Renee Davis, you all find that I have no sort of professionalism or no valid reason to call you or no right to call you. It's like no reason. And then you all say I'm harassing. City inspection said that I cannot call to harass them. Where they sit there and take full reports of issues that they say they can take and then turn around and tell me when somebody else is getting on the phone, apparently not accurately speaking with awful phone etiquette and conduct, showing completely how the corruption is within the Kenosha County and Kenosha City public governments. Of course, that's what you all are trying to make it. And you all are not representing everybody there. And I know better. And not everybody is going to talk up because they don't want to have to go through the things that you all are putting me through. The attacks and attempts of assassination of character and the slander and the defamation. I should not have to go through that where you all are randomly doing. You have a directory of things. You have appropriate things that you're supposed to talk to, and you should be able to appropriately talk to me and answer my questions instead of saying, well, it's a hard guess or it's a hard question to answer, or you don't want to get up, or you've been out on the streets all day and I called just when you sat down. So you really, don't want to take my calls because you need to catch your breath before you have to go out there. This is your job. You need to talk to your human resources and tell them they need to pay you more money. You need better this. You need windows that open in there. You need other things so that you can have a luxurious experience so that you can do your job. Otherwise, you have to find somewhere else to work. Because I'm not going to have you all steady abusing my life. I'm confident in what I'm saying to you, Lieutenant Funk, because you all are abusing me at this point. And I am aggressive about it because you are everything that I try to do in this place. You all are prohibiting that. You send me through my calls and my person when I come there through all kinds of trials. And I go through an unlawful experience, and I'm not giving you permission to abuse me. You do not tell me my feelings. I was just accused of not even wanting to talk to somebody. These people just say anything out of their mouth. And these are indictments out on my life and my well-being and who I am. I don't call you all to help me. I call to ask questions. You all answer. You do your job. Help yourself then. Please. So I call about these issues. I want to know because I was told that the sheriff's office are the people who to talk to about and to make the reports to about the Kenosha County Jail, pretrial facility, indoors and outdoors, the condition. That includes some of what I have already mentioned. And hygiene is not about the smell of something. Hygiene is a whole approach to many things. The hygiene in the jail, those jails need to be shut down. And you all know that. And you're not going to put me inside of a jail to stop the things that you all are doing. And all you have to do is do the appropriate things. Write this information down. Do not be dishonest about it. And get what you need to keep your stuff going. If you have an interest that deep and that serious in Kenosha, Wisconsin, or your job, and you may not even reside in Kenosha, Wisconsin, but if you work for the sheriff's office or whatever department you work in within Wisconsin or the city of Kenosha or whatever, and you find that you don't want to lose it or whatever, then why don't you be appropriate in handling calls at any level? This is abuse. You all, as many issues that you all have in there. You all are punishing pretrial detainees. You are giving, and people have not even been sentenced yet. I was abused for even being divorced. They held me in a holding cell. When I went there, it appeared to be urine all over it, all over the cell. Food, all kinds of, it was disgusting. It was just filthy all in there. It was a mess too. I asked for a roll of tissue, a roll of toilet paper, because they forced me into the cell, okay, with some extreme pressure of whatever air or gas coming out of there. And this was about a discussion about me answering whether I was divorced or not. And asking them to describe their questions. They put a sheet of paper over the window so nobody could see in, and I definitely could not see out of it. It was not clean before I went in there. It was no toilet paper in there. And I had to use the toilet paper I had to even clean. It was whatever was liquid all over the seat, it was all kind of urine. And this was on April 4th, 2025. I had to clean it up with the roll of tissue that they gave me. I put it off to the side. I had to clean all that stuff up. And then when it was time for me to urinate, I barely had enough to even clean myself. And they would not even give me another roll of tissue. That is abuse. You all sit there and for days and all this stuff, they do not clean the cells. It's showing leaks in the ceiling. Paint chipping, mold, smelling mold and mildew all in the showers. The toilets are stopped up. The sinks don't even have proper pressure. It's cold in there. The ventilation is awful. You know, all of this stuff is a serious problem. And so I don't want you all just randomly Googling something or trying to tell me what to talk about. You are supposed to hear me. That is your job. And it does not matter how much your job is not to like me or dislike me. Your job is not to form an opinion of me. You cannot have discrimination. And you all have, that's a law. I have plenty of lawsuits against your sheriff's office. Today alone, too. The discrimination. You all trying to dictate my life, how I'm doing things, and the prejudice that you all have, on top of knowing good and well, you know the conditions of those jails. The phones are not even working and holding. When I was just there, I could not even have my phone call. One phone is not even working at all, and they know it. They're not even caring. Nobody's caring, but you're sitting here commissioning people in and out of jail, arresting them without properly investigating to your discretion, and people have a right to call for bond. You all kept me down there for over 12 hours without even booking me in. And I could have been booked in, except they decided to do whatever they wanted to because I was not answering the questions how they want to. And then they take these TB tests and don't even read them. And so if I went to jail today and they put whatever that is that I did not want them to put in my body, which they put me in a hole before, then I went, that was in February, on February 15th. Then I went back for another false allegation that I didn't need some stuff that I didn't even do. But regardless of the fact, okay, I'm talking to you today about the circumstances there and the inspections, of course. And this is serious. On April 4, 2025, I had to get a TB test. You all now have another care provider that said every 6 months or something like that, which is ridiculous to study, put something unknown. They did not tell me what was in that TB test or anything. I did not know what they put inside of my body. That is a crime. They did not want to give me any paperwork. They didn't basically tell me just to shut up and accept the shot. They did not read the TB test according to the time properly. And I'm telling you, if I ever have to go, they're not going to put that stuff in me again because those people are not reading those TB tests on time. And so they're not properly doing the document. Those people have falsified documents and everything before, saying they were taking my blood pressures and they weren't. Saying they were giving me pills and I don't even take drugs. So what if they're sitting there saying that they read a TB test and putting anything on it and saying somebody had tuberculosis or whatever the situation is and they don't? I was there in that jail and they did not properly read the not even upon discharge. They say you had a TB test, a tuberculosis test. I have to read this before you get out of jail. You all are hurting yourselves. That is a liability. And you're forcing people in these jails as if they don't know, and you're calling people incompetent. And it's causing them to have to be forced into mental illness and all kinds of things because you believe that you're better than the next person. That is inappropriate. And I do not know what you all's problem is, but it's much of mass incarceration. It's genocidal tendencies. It's the school to prison pipeline as well. And it's like, you know, a lot of attempted murder and all kinds of things happen. I watched where people literally said that I had seizures, and I never had a seizure ever before. But Kenosha County Jail had me listed as I had seizures. I have the medical records where one page said that I never had them. Another page said that I told them that I did not have them. And then another page, all like 1, 2, 3 said that I have seizures, that I have a history of seizures. I've never had a seizure. I've never even seen anybody have a seizure until I was in a county jail. You all had watched somebody have a seizure and put that person in the hole. You took that person out of queue and put that person in the hole for having a seizure. And they gonna try to say, to make an excuse. They had brought oxygen, everything. They didn't get that woman oxygen or nothing. They were not sitting there. They did everything what seemed like for the camera. I watched her stand there and fall and hit her head on the cell bars. You all neglect people constantly in there. People have to beg for tissue. You sit up there and refuse to allow me to use the phone in April, telling me that I could not use the phone because another inmate was naked and you all did not want it to be a PREA issue. But that woman sit there and soil her clothes, urinated on her clothes, and did not have those clothes. For over a day, you all refused to bring her a change of clothes. Where she was naked, her body was naked, and you all refused to give her even a blanket. And the only time you all brought her a blanket and did not bring her clothes was so that she can get medication to at the end of the night. Over 20, but I still did not get to use the phone all that day. I was in my cell for more than 24 hours. That is illegal. And you got these people playing on the phone for this serious matter because you believe I have no power. I'm not going to let you all keep trying to boss me and abuse me. Just like you all are tough because you carry a gun, I carry the truth. I take care of my own self. I do not give you all problems. And this is not your concern, but I'm not out here prostituting. I'm not out here strung out or doing drugs. I am well behaved. I take care of myself the best way I can. I do not have to be your model citizen, but I'm not giving you all trouble. And you all treat me like I'm the scum under your shoes or the scum of the earth, and you treat me like trash constantly. You do not represent anything that I do. You falsify reports constantly. And there are some officers who are, they try, but they're not properly investigating stuff at times too, though. But they are not as disrespectful. But you let those people who answer the phone sit here and provoke people to damn near anger. Constantly, over and over again. Nothing is getting done except you all are steady jailing people. Steady running after somebody, stealing their identity, changing somebody's path, doing all kinds of stuff, like playing cops and robbers. I'm not here to play with you guys. I'm not into that. I want out of it. I'm going to live my life and I'm going to live it appropriately. I do not want you all including me in your games and your charades. You are assuming all the time. You're in a hurry all the time. You all are very anxious in the situation. I don't know what it is about you all. I've been told constantly that these officers, they're on drugs and they have mental illnesses and all this different stuff. But yet and still you all carry a gun. But you're going to tell me that I can't even represent myself, or you're telling me an officer told me, a sheriff deputy told me that I could not make a complaint against a false report that a psychologist made to the courts. He would not take the complaint. You all, and he's talking about it's a civil matter. You all don't take civil matters. You all can write this down. That was a crime that man committed. And I can prove it. You do not sit up there and falsely diagnose someone and try to put them on drugs and ruin their life, and they have a request that they go to jail. That is a false statement to a public servant. Those are malicious statements. Those are crimes. To make a false report to an officer all day, those are crimes. But because I'm Jasmine Renee Davis, you all refuse to take that report. And that's inappropriate. And I have complaints to file about this whole situation, but that is not the full reason. But once I call here, you all still are constantly allowing these people to constantly be abusive. And it's not only the sheriff's office, the police department. I have so many videos out here. I talk about you all on my YouTube page, on my social media. So yeah, it's out there. You go right ahead and look. At this point, you should. Because I sure mentioned all of the disrespect and your malpractice and how you all do. You stalk people, hunt people. And when I mention it, you all say that I must be paranoid or schizophrenic. But you all are trying to drive people that way. But you're literally telling me that you all have mental illness and you're carrying guns. So apparently it must not be that bad. Why aren't you in jail for a mental illness? Why do you get to use discretion on people's lives and actually put them in jail if you have a mental illness? What is being corrected by you? And being on medicine or medication rather, or drugs or whatever, while you're driving a car, while you're operating a gun, while you're making a report, while you're tasing people, while you're just doing paperwork. You all have so many errors in the paperwork that you all send. The district attorney's office, all y'all just make false reports. And when I call for simple matters to try to make sure that I handle stuff, not only because Kenosha has to know about this, but because these are things that I have actually seen. It's already a problem where all these places just nasty and just trashed out here. And y'all sit here and talk about the millions of dollars that y'all have. Billions. Kenosha Unified School District called the police on me. I couldn't barely even get in into the town hall meeting. They called the police, hassle me, harass me, all kinds of stuff. They won't even give me my proper records. That man's supposed to have been sent my records. He was refusing to send me my transcripts. He's refusing to send me the information. Blocked my phone calls for whatever reason. Made false reports, abused me. And they're steady lying to these, as making you all their personal security because they know that they have committed crimes. And you all never take my word for it. I'm the one that always have to go to jail. You guys are going to have to get another method to your madness. You're going to have to do it. I'm not that person. You are fine. Okay, where you're out there, maybe you don't mind going to jail for a little while. I mind. I do not want to go to jail. It's awful. They're abusive. I don't even eat meat. I don't eat animal products. It was days where I had to starve in there. And then I couldn't even, it's cold. You all do not care. You don't even give tissue. People are begging. Hundreds of people at a time begging for a roll of tissue. That's everybody's property to get some tissue. It does not matter. Oh, I just gave you. Okay, but what if I had a bowel move? Whatever. You have to use everything. First of all, they put me in cells that haven't even been cleaned. They're disgusting. And then those guards say it's not their job to clean the cells. How are you putting somebody into a nasty, dirty cell? All kind of dysfunction and all kinds of stuff. I do not have to be in someone live and react to somebody else's bodily fluids. I do not have to thrive on somebody else's germs. I have my own germs. And that is not a crime. It does not matter how you all take it and how you view it or whatever you choose to do, Lieutenant Funk, the sheriff. You know, this is a serious matter. And I always have to figure out a way not to be shaken up in a situation because I know that you all would sit there and attack me and come wherever I am because I'm always outside. And just arrest me for and falsify stuff. I have a record right now on court where they call me incompetent. State troopers, Pleasant Prairie, said that I called them assholes and bastards, and I didn't. It was a whole inspection. It was a whole setup. Everything happened. They just a mess. And they get away with that. And then they're refusing to send me my records. I sent in for Pleasant Prairie. I have pro se. The district attorney, Xavier Solis, gave me my paperwork. I emailed that to them. And I've been calling. State Patrol still won't give me the evidence because they're being dishonest. Pleasant Prairie still won't give me my evidence because they're being dishonest. They're not even returning my emails and have not been. You all are steady doing all of this stuff and putting yourself writing checks that your ass cannot cash, that you just cannot cash. And then you're going to tell me you're violating my free speech, how I can talk and say that I'm threatening you and with obscenities. Those are sex crimes. And it also stems back historically to people and their social presence and how they report things or their journalism as well. You are attacking me because of my information. When I sit up here and the city administrator tells me that he will have me arrested for causing congregations. No, I don't appreciate that. I'm calling and I want to know the appropriate person who to report all of these issues to. These need to be inspected within the Kenosha County Jail and also the Kenosha County Detention Center. You all sit there and have 20-something women competing for 2 toilets or 2 showers. The showers don't even get hot. These are pretrial detainees. You are punishing pretrial detainees. You don't care. They can't even get the necessary things. That people cannot get the necessary things that they should be able to get. You don't even give enough food. People are literally starving. Even people have been pregnant. People have had babies. You still don't even give enough food. You starve people. You put food through nasty gates and smush the food before it gets to them. You do not care. The fruit and all that stuff, all banged up, bruised up, all kinds of things constantly. You all have a problem on your hands. And I'm here right now. You all sit there and try to close me in and keep me around and trap me and do. No, if you did not want me to see it, you should not send me there. Because I didn't ask to go. I'm not out here committing these crimes, man. And you're not going to abuse me because of the way I talk. Because your girl's uncomfortable? Make a better work environment for them. Shit. I don't know what to tell you, but that's not my responsibility. My responsibility is myself. And I have the proper functioning to take care of myself, as you can see. But I'm not going to allow you all to keep doing and abusing me like this. It's inappropriate. You may not continue to arrest me because I'm speaking up for myself. You may not call the police because I show up at a public meeting. You may not try to hide me from everybody and call restaurants calling the police on me because you all don't want the public to see that I'm not out of my mind. You all are making everybody seem like I'm out of my mind, that I cannot talk for myself, that I'm insane. You're calling me schizophrenic. And paranoid and also, do you know I've been sleeping outside for over a year and I ain't never, how's that paranoid? It's not. I don't have any, I'm literally showing my face on my Facebook asleep. I'm not worried. You all are not the last thing that I think about before I go to sleep at night. Believe that. I'm not scared of you. And you all are constantly doing this. You have to understand you have a severe prejudice. You base things off of maybe your 2-parent households, maybe what you have and all that, but that is not your job. You need to read your books. I know you all get 5 years to get your degrees or whatever. You need to focus more on that instead of introducing some other stuff or doing stuff that you see on television or what some other agency is doing because you really don't want to be there and you just need the experience to move up. But then you're not doing your job right. And then you catch a criminal and you say, well, let's get him on this. Let's see what else we can get him. Well, we got him, so let's make something stick. That's what they just did to me in April. Try to find something because I did not do it. They just put all these things on me. And then you top it off with disorderly conduct. Because disorderly conduct can be anything, right? A ticket, though. You all sit there and I have a criminal charge for somebody accusing me of using the bathroom house, urinating. They didn't even see me. They said I have a bowel movement in a bucket. And at that time, I didn't even have a bucket using the bathroom in. Officers have stalked my Facebook page and everything. Disrespectful. There's an inspection issue that I have, and I would like to know who do I talk to and get this stuff handled today in writing and get this stuff submitted and start this complaint process as well in these reports. I was told.
You'd have to contact the Department of Corrections through the state, so you'd have to contact Madison.
Who?
They are the oversight on
Madison? Madison?
Yes. The Department of Corrections in Madison.
And how are you? And so what is exactly you're telling me to contact them about, please?
All of your grievances pertaining to our jails here.
I didn't tell you they were grievances, but what is it that you gather from what I said, please?
Basically, the living conditions, how medical staff have been treating you, and how our correctional officers have been treating inmates all along here.
That's unacceptable. That's not what I said, though.
So again, you have to contact the Department of Corrections in Madison and file a complaint through them, and that would open up the investigation. They are the oversight for all of the jails in Wisconsin.
I already have a call in to different places, but the thing is, you all have a local process and local paperwork as well.
Any complaints about the jail has to the Department of Corrections.
So what if somebody has a complaint while they're in jail? What do you all do with those complaints that are filed within the jail?
If it's a complaint on one of the workers, then it goes through an investigation process.
Who handles that?
It's internal.
Who handles it internal? What does that mean?
So it would be an internal investigation.
Who handles that internal investigation?
It depends on who's assigned to. Typically, it's supervisors.
But what department? Who handles that, please?
It depends on which department or which that person is working under. If it's correctional, then it would go to the correction supervisors. If it's patrol related, it would go to the patrol supervisors.
But what location, though?
Within the sheriff's department.
The sheriff department, the sheriff office, right?
Correct.
Okay, and so if someone has a complaint within the jail, okay, that they, the hygiene, the conditions of how the things are with the facilities as far as the toilet, no water.
Then again, you'd have to contact the Department of Corrections.
So how can
There's state
someone?
inspectors that come out and inspect all jail facilities yearly.
It's been some of the same problems, but what I'm saying is this: who handles that for someone that is? How does that handle for someone in jail? What do you all do with that paperwork when somebody files that while they're in jail?
I'm not exactly certain what the process is. If it's filed, I mean, typically you'd have to write a letter to the Department of Corrections. That's how it would go. There's no form available out there for us to receive to deal with those complaints.
So you you only address this once a year in the jails in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
The state inspector does an inspection once a year for all jails.
But you're saying that someone has to write to the Department of Corrections if they're in jail and they have any issues or the problems that I have discussed, that I have spoken about today, that I talked to you about.
If you were in custody at that moment in time, yes, you would have to make that phone call or relay that information to an attorney, and they could make that your grievance is known.
No, you just you just violated the law. You do not tell somebody that they have to have an attorney, that they have to go through an attorney to make a complaint.
I'm just giving options.
No, you didn't. No, you said two things. No, yeah, it is, and it is. And it definitely is. First of all, you said two things. People cannot call collect or do a prepaid call to the Department of Corrections. And I do not have to go through an attorney. While you over here trying to shit on and do all this different stuff. Okay? Lieutenant Funk, you better stop playing in this public office. And I mean that. I don't care that you can write me a ticket or come and arrest me or fine me and try to criminally charge me, because you are the one that is the person. You're the defendant right now. You're subject to citizen arrest yourself. I'm talking to you and you asked to get on the phone and talk to me. You are playing on this phone. You're not appropriately answering the correct, answering it properly. Also, what you're doing is contradicting yourself constantly. You're getting outside of the real issue and taking the problem from Kenosha's hands and that bullshit ass jail that you all have, since you want to take it here and try to rush me off the phone. You know that I'm on this phone talking. So why are you trying to hurry me off the phone and I'm talking to you? Okay, that's another issue. I should not have to get like this for you all to try to upset and disappoint me in my situation where I have to speak and get this stuff out of me the best that I can because you all are literally trying to snatch away me talking and do the things that I have to do. I'm not going to let you constantly fight me. I'm asking valid questions and it's appropriate and also is exposing the corruption there, right there from you. And your contamination and the things that you are doing. How do I access if I have filed complaints within the jail and my grievances on paper and through that kiosk? How do I get my grievances and those complaints? This call is still going
For
on.
that, I would have to contact jail administration and ask them to supply that information.
You would have to?
Or you can go down to the jail administration section and request all those grievances.
Jail administration has refused to allow me to come in there and talk to them and told me any problems I have to go across the street to the sheriff's office. That is inappropriate again. And then go right back so you all are trying to entrap me so that you all can say that I'm harassing you and, going back and forth so that you can arrest me after you all had already tried to hassle me and wouldn't even let me follow. It's incredible for you to defeat the purpose. You all are sitting here and not taking it serious. You don't have to act. I'm asking on a local level. There is paperwork. And I was even told when I went into the administrator's office, when I went in there to talk to that corporal, that woman said that there in an administrator, she said that there is a form for people can file that's in the jail, and there's a form that they have for people that can file out of jail. And you gonna tell me to call Madison about it? I get to Madison. I already got the calls there in Madison. I'm talking to you in Kenosha. You all are not going to get away from this issue and say you had nothing to do with it, and you have a lot of stuff to do with it. How does that sound to you? How competent do a person have to be in a diversified situation where you all are constantly doing the thing and trying to run the time out on the clock over and over again and give somebody a hard time and hassle. And then when you get tired of answering or whatever, because I'm not tired, then you throw somebody in jail and say they're harassing, or you literally hunt them and wait for them to use the bathroom outside or anything to give them a disorderly conduct ticket and throw them in jail, and so that they can constantly have messed up criminal records, and then they can't even get a job, can't even get a apartment if they rent, or can't even get a home loan sometime, or can't even, do anything appropriate, can't even get insurance. You all are literally contributing. That is attempted murder. Killing. That's what your dispatch is all about. You all are not doing what you're supposed to do. And it's like you all are slave catchers too. Because I ask you appropriate questions. You're not doing anything directly of what you're supposed to do. And Wisconsin is one with a problem as well, because I have called these different places. And like I say, if I call them again or whatever the situation is, but I have calls in already. And I was asked, can you wait till somebody else calls until you get those other calls? Okay. When are they going to call? When you constantly lose lives and people are constantly going through all this and all these different things are happening to people? You're diagnosing people with improper illnesses and all kinds of stuff that you're doing locally. I told you yourself as a lieutenant that crimes are happening and you didn't find anything that you can even do about it. How could you not even find any crime there and the stuff that I said? I told you that they're forcing people to put some kind of substance in their body through a needle into their veins. And they're not even telling what is inside of the shot or whatever it is. And then they're not reading the test, and they're forcing people to constantly take them, put that same chemical inside, or not chemical, but that same poison or whatever that drug or whatever it is, that formula inside their body over and over again. And if they do not accept it, not even knowing if they want it in their body, if it's a animal derived from a product derived from animals or anything. You do not know what people, and so you just choose to just ignore what I'm saying. You choose to ignore the crimes that these people are constantly committing. I had to beg for food and cry, and they sit there. Oh, oh, no. Like, they abuse me because I'm crying. I'm like, when I went and talked to that nurse, when I first got there, they said that they were going to put the order in immediately. The officer said that he was going to put the order in immediately. That nurse did. It was a black woman and then it's a male nurse or whatever. They never put the order through. I was so hungry. I didn't even know the ingredients in that bread, but I was not about to sit there and be weak and starve myself. It was terrible. It wasn't until later on I said, you know what? I gotta ask somebody something, because they weren't going to the nurses. They weren't letting me get on the kiosk. Look and see, they're not writing to them when I was able to get to the kiosk. And they starved me. They did not care. It's eat it or not. It does not matter. You cannot force people to eat whatever. It does not matter if they have committed a crime. You cannot force people to eat meat. That is violence in some terms, man. To some people. And not everybody. People eat meat. Eat meat all you want to. Be happy to eat meat. I'm not saying you're violent, but to some people that is committing violence. And it is an extreme, and it's a disqualifying factor. And it's something that I don't accept. For you all to continue to overlook these things and try to put the work off on somebody else. What is it that you all are doing there? What work are you getting done there? And you have to answer this question. And like I said, when I told that woman, it's an order to tell me exactly who I'm supposed to speak to properly locally. She's randomly Googling something, didn't even have an address, didn't even know where she was telling me to call. I can Google on my own. There is someone locally. I even called to the inspections in Kenosha. They said some issues are a county. There's a county agency who handles building inspections. So why is Kenosha County Jail and Kenosha Detention Center exempt from building inspections locally? Can you answer that question? I'm asking you to answer that question. How come your buildings, your county buildings, are run down in a lot of areas, but you are exempt? Like you don't have people to inspect your buildings locally, but you want to go to somebody's house that they pay for, and you want to tell other people how to run their households and things like that. But you don't want to why is it that you don't inspect your own buildings?
There are inspections that are done yearly.
Why is it that Kenosha, Wisconsin, Kenosha County does not inspect Kenosha buildings when someone has an immediate complaint that is outside of that yearly inspection? And apparently they're not doing a very good job of the inspection. And then you all got people working and as a pretrial detainee that's sentenced, and you got people literally going to jail, working, having to work. You force them to work, force them to move tables, force them to clean, force them to do all kinds of stuff. And if they don't do it, you put people in the holes. You all have a serious bad problem on your hands. And you work for the sheriff's office and you find nothing to address here at all whatsoever. And then it's like, oh, it's volunteer. How is it volunteer when you're putting somebody's name on the board, where you're refusing to clean? And then sometimes they don't even put the cleaning supplies. And then you know what they do? Make everybody use the same toilet brush. It does not matter if they're in a hole, if they use the same thing over and over, the same nasty towel, the same contaminated towel. One little towel. Oh, well, you know what? It's okay. Then don't worry about it. Don't clean it. This is ridiculous. Why do you hire and put people through such trifling circumstances? You all want to sit here and demystify me and tell me who I am and provoke me and pervert me until I just blurt out and vomit out this strength that I have within myself and things and so that I can do stuff when I'm not prepared exactly to handle the backlash and the repercussions and the consequences that may come along for me speaking in this term. I don't have enough money to sit up here and fight you all the time like this to get my ass out of jail when I'm telling the truth. And so I try, but you all have a responsibility to take care of the things that you take care of. And I don't have to have an attorney to fight you. Why do I have to hire somebody to fight you? I can fight you on my own. You all choose to fight me constantly. And I'm not violent. But you all are. You are worse than violent. And you use your discretion. And you have guns. You know how it feels to be tased. And you all sit there in them jails and had a taser up to my side in a county jail. Just because of a probation officer wanted to sanction me. You all sit there and know that you violate people because a lot of people are religious out here. And so you give them indictments, long-standing contests, and unfair competition. You know that it is going to cause their leader to frown upon them and them to be basically thrown out of their situation, whether they're in a church or whether they're in the kingdom. And you know that. And you all do not care. And then people out here cannot take care of what they need to take care of. The school to prison pipeline. You are policing. You're intimidating people. Just your presence. You stand over people. You patrol the shit out of neighborhoods constantly, over and over again, over police. When I had a house in Hunters Ridge, when I had a house out there on 84th Avenue, when I had a house on 106th Avenue, all these places that I had houses, you were not policing the neighborhoods like you all do. Like I see you all do. Over there on 63rd and all these other places where, you know, like on 22nd and how you just round on 36 constantly drive through the same neighborhoods over policing. Or wherever you have seen me at. And it's a problem. And you all need to know that. When I call, I'm going to call. I've been trying to get through and I have been dealing with these problems, especially from that Abigail person. What's her name? Sarah, all of them. It's all of them up there. You are not going to control me. And I'm not trying to be circumstantial with you all. This is a situation that is this is something that is happening all the time. But every time I call for different reasons. If I leave out of the sheriff's office, anything can happen. I come back. You all don't even want me to talk to a sheriff. You all come, I can't talk to say nothing to a sheriff. That's a public employee. It's an officer. I can speak to an officer and ask that officer something. And just like you all, this is one thing. You all ask people their names. You ask people identity. That is a crime. But if I ask you your name, you are supposed to tell me. You chose that job. You chose that. You're not going to force that on me. When you're off work, I guarantee you're not going to subscribe to that. Or are you going to flash your badge to people when you're not even on the clock? That's what I'm saying. You all have it all messed up. And this is why you don't. That's why you are calling people incompetent. You know how this stuff is. And you are using them psychologists as to cause murder and harm. Constantly. And it's inappropriate. And I do not appreciate it. You all cannot sit up here and take somebody's right to a trial just by saying that they cannot. For me, I didn't want to use a public defender. So why would I not want to use a public defender? Because I don't want to use a public defender that's going to pretend that they are here. They don't even have enough resources to fight for me. They're not going to defend me. And I'm not going to get the proper information that I need to get. And then what you all are going to tell me, call a social worker, call somebody else. As soon as you refuse, you get out of your job constantly, but you get paid. What you start off at $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year. And then you literally don't know. You sit there and you might have cover, but you don't know. You sit there and play with your own life. And you allow those secretaries to sit up there and play on the phone constantly. And you all are just doing nothing but abusing that sheriff over there. You all are out of shape. You sit there and you're leaning over all the time. Your uniforms are all messed up. Your shoes are all ran down and raggedy. You don't even speak up for yourself. Everybody don't want to come and be in that. And then y'all had the nerve to call me a hoarder or something like that. You don't even know what I represent. You don't even know what I'm doing. You don't know what happening. What's happening with me? I don't know why. But you all said you know, that you got it. I don't. I am not going to pretend like I'm still growing. Somebody said that every day I act like a child out here, and I don't have to be your definition of anything. I am not an adult. I'm not fully grown. I'm still growing. I'm not going to let you take my womb. I'm not going to let you take my organs and all this stuff that you all sit there and do. Who trespasses someone from the Department of Transportation because they want to ask questions that they're getting or not wanting to answer the questions on a simple application? Or if they don't have an address, how do I still obtain a ID card? I can't even file proper lawsuits and things that are restraining order or anything. You all know what you're doing. This is not only a Madison issue. I want some record of this call today. How do I get that in writing? Because I did report this to you, and there has to be a report of this call, and that is an order, and I can say that. You have to make a record of this phone call today. I need this phone call in writing today. All of it. This is not a joke. This is not a game. And I'm no longer going to sit up here and let you all treat me like I'm a minor or I'm basic, because I am not. And if I was a minor, I'm telling you, there are minors that are graduating from college. I don't mean a minor like an age. I mean a minor like I'm not qualified. And that's why that's why I don't subscribe to you all saying that you do not define my age, because I plan to always live. You're not going to treat me like I cannot handle this. Like, oh, well, we hear her, but does she even know what she's saying out her mouth? You know, you want to know if Jasmine Renee Davis, June 12, 1986, D120-436-867-1201, calling you from 1262-498-6963. Right now it's 12:43 p.m. on exactly, gotta make sure, yes, 2025. You want to know if I know how serious this is and how much of it are you going to take serious? Well, why do I have to keep calling you? How many times? What is the protocol? You all have different things that you have to do. And I'm going to list some of them. And I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to ask that you hold the phone. And I have some further questions to ask, because it's plain and simple. You all sit there and have a CHIPS case out there through a county agency. I have tried to file sheriff complaints where that person, Abigail, okay, have literally been answering the calls, and they say things like, well, they won't take the complaint. When I call through joint services, I tell you how that's a county agency, how they have made false reports. And they're sitting there going to the courts, have taken my son from me. I mean, the list goes on, and it's a serious list of things. And people want to talk about Santa Claus is coming to town, how he's making a list. He's checking it twice. He's going to find out who's naughty or nice. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake, and he knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. These are the things that you all paint your town for these different holidays. For what? You're just doing nothing but deceiving people. You're worried about peace all the time and not living. You're always concerned about the wrong things. It's like, tell the truth about what these laws mean for people that are gearing toward the end of their life, so that they can have satisfaction, so that they don't go to what inside of their mind. This is a serious situation. Please, I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. And I care so much. And you all are not going to sit up here and abuse the fact because people can make a different turn. You do not have to continue to rock somebody to sleep constantly. You should show people that's alive. And what if all they see around here is the children that are constantly seeming they're malnourished, wearing makeup to look healthy, wearing weaves in their hair. They go to these places, gluing their scalps, dry lips, malnourished, going to get Brazilian butt lifts and everything because the schools won't teach them. Come on, man. You all need to take this serious. And then you throwing people in jail. You letting these people come out here and do whatever they want. Seriously, constantly, over and over and over again. You all sit there. I called today. It had nothing to do with this problem at all. Because I already called into the Department of Corrections. I have already said, when I go to Kenosha, I'm going to talk to you all in person. And I'm not a resident of Racine. I'm not a resident of anybody. None of y'all own me. But what I'm saying is this. When you all are not handling your situations properly, it causes a severe problem. When you all are not allowing me to make my proper reports and the things that I have to make, it is severe. When I call you and I say, are you a law enforcement agency or whatever? You probably are, right? That's kind of how the conversation is. Well, what law is it that you all uphold? All of them. Okay. All of them, huh? So why are you throwing anybody in jail? Why is it that, you all are sit up here and where's it? So where's the informational meetings that people can have to learn how to not break the law and go to jail? What are you all doing with that? How do people know the laws? Because I sure was told that I can urinate outside if I don't show my naked body. Like if I'm not, being vulgar showing my body, but I can show my body if I want to. But it could be I guess I got to say it's for educational purposes. But there's new beaches out there. It's just what you all choose to break and say what's better for the city of what kind of residents are here. So you're only using a specific demographic of people that you choose to cater your laws to. So what laws are those that you all enforce? Because you're not caring about all these people that you're throwing inside. Apparently you got to up this, what's happening, because if everybody doing this, you need to change and see what the heck is going on around here. And you all are constantly playing these games. Where is it that you're going to give some informational meetings? Why are you all quick to have somebody have a birth certificate and take their fingerprints and their footprints and all that stuff, but and their vital records and information and throw them in jail and then not allow them to heal? But where's the information? Where is the laws? The libraries, kicking people out? They don't even want people to come in there. Not everybody want to go to a public place, by the way. Nobody has to deal with the mess that happens that goes along with the public place, actually, all the time for unnecessary things. When are you all going to teach people about the laws? Why are you not telling Kenosha Unified School District? Why are you not doing it in that damn visitor center out there in Kenosha, why they city working with the state patrol, trafficking people and falsely arresting people? Investigating people, having Kenosha Human Development Center doing dumb stuff constantly, identity thieving and stuff, using them to make the reports because they're so close to the police department and they're more qualified than anybody else. You all have a good relationship. When are you going to teach the person what laws people are supposed to abide by? Everybody don't have to abide by the law. Some people, they get their education, and this is why you see so many churches and places around and all these private offices, because they have a specific amount of education that they have just to be able to try. And some people want to teach their people that they get along with, and then you all want to be intrusive and people can't even do that. I'm not giving my life for anybody. I'm not in church. I am not religious. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis, but I am speaking up generally too, because I'm gonna tell you something. This is a serious matter, and people want to have children, and people want to do the things that they're supposed to do, but yet and still, you all won't even. What law is it? What law? All of the laws, as long as they go along with what? This is a severe situation. You all don't have any information to give to people, and then when I sit out there on July 12th or something like that, 2024, I'm reading on different things about city of Kenosha. funding or whatever. I start reading or I ask questions or whatever. And then the next day I was told that, the city administrator told the Kenosha Police Department to kick me out of the park that I was in. Why? What, whether or not, but for what reason? That park said it was open on the website for 24 hours a day. That was the only park that had that information out there. I screenshot the information. But not only that though, why did they sneak up on me in the middle of at nighttime and was in a huddle and all that? And then they had some person that they said that was a ride along and did not identify who that person was. They were supposed to tell me who that person was. If you have somebody with you and you are at a public job, then that person has to identify themselves because you're using public cars, all these different things, taxpayers' money. You all are sitting out here and abusing the fact of the matter, or people are on medication and they're trying to figure out how to change because they have to go to work. They have to do these things. They don't want to get in, like me. I like being who I am. I don't mind speaking up for you know what I'm saying? I care about speaking up for myself. But some people, they are literally having to be drugged to deal with you all's mess. No, you have to change. Why do I have to take drugs? I'm not. Why don't you try to figure something out? But it's only until you all look at this crack cocaine epidemic and all these other things. And then now, oh, okay, now you have the fentanyl thing. What did you all do with all those drugs that you all found about that you busted somebody that came from another country? Where was it? Like Europe or somewhere over there? You had got so much drugs. What did you all do with those drugs? Where are those drugs now? Tell me that. That's public information. Oh, I have a lot to say. You all are going to stop telling me that I can't come there and talk to you because how are you sitting there busting somebody and you ain't put a statement out and let people know what you all did with those drugs? Where did you flush it somewhere? So it's in the drinking water. How much purification do you have to cleanse that water out? Huh? What is the situation? Tell me what it is, please. You all are sitting there and you're abusing people and hassling people and the ambulance are constantly going. People are doing all kinds of stuff. You are literally letting women, their wombs are being taken out of their body. Men are being accused of prostate cancer and high blood pressure for what? Constantly. And so people are on medication trying to stay alive so their body can heal because people are taking stuff out of them that belongs in their body because the body heals itself. And you all sitting here abusing people. You have no regard for people that are trying. So then you want to have these ordinances and stuff like that. Okay, well, don't sit here and criminally charge people constantly. You don't know what people are going through. Everything is not sick. But I'm just using examples because this is a serious matter. And then you throwing people in jail and not even properly managing them. You're not managing the situation. You're not even managing toilet paper. One pair of clothes or what? Do you know how awful that is for somebody to go to jail? They might do anything, be scared to use the bathroom, be scared to be around all those strangers. Y'all, everybody sit up like somebody used to being around strangers. Y'all just touch all over people. Y'all abused me out there at Freighter South that day. Those people did not even want to treat me. And I couldn't even go to the walk-in. And you all almost broke my foot, kept me inside of your police car. And stood there where I was begging for my life. Those people had me on blood pressure medication. I didn't even have to be. I was over 300 pounds. And I was crying. They would not refill my medication and all that different stuff. And they told me that I was late for like 2 minutes late for my appointment or something like that. I said, fine, I'll just go to the walk-in clinic. And they called the police. They already had character witnesses and everything out there. It was a setup. And you all sit there and the sheriff's office, the department at the time, I said, my back is hurting right now. They said, stand up. I said, I'm raising my hands right now and I'm going to stand up, but it's not going to be as fast as you want me. All you have to do is get the body cam footage because it is a complaint. And I tried to call you all about it before in 2021. I talked to that man. And I told him, I'd rather just get on my knees then and they said that I was resisting arrest. They came to a doctor's office, didn't care how I was feeling, what I was doing, what I was going through. They put these people on this medication and they do not care. And they say, oh, well, it's going to risk your life. It's going to do that. Walgreens, all these people giving out different medication. I'm not on welfare, food stamps. I'm not on none of that stuff. I'm not on public aid. I'm not on pills. I haven't taken a pill in like probably 4 years. I don't have to. I live my life. And you all are going to keep diagnosing me with your opinions. But you all are insufficient in the way that you are carrying along with your jobs. And you had the nerve to tell me I'm lacking. Why is it that I have to take such responsibility? Where you all come from? Are you not in Kenosha at all? Are you not in Wisconsin? Do you not have any interest at all, even where you work? You have to drive through these places. And you abuse, the sheriff's abusive, and the court's gonna ask me, what am I doing showing up at the court? Ain't nobody here but pre-trial meetings or whatever. What am I doing? Like, ain't nothing going on here. You know what I'm saying? You all choose to do the worst stuff, whatever the situation is that you choose to do according to your own specific culture. But what culture is that? I would like to know so that I can make sure. But you want to what? You don't want to tell your culture, but why you bringing it to work? What is the culture of specifically? Because you all, it's open records, public records. And I'm pointing my finger out here because you are being held accountable. And I am accountable on my own. But you all have to tell, this is information that I'm also requesting. This is an investigation to see. And you all need to be audited. And this is because why do I have to go through these with these people calling on the phone all of the time? I'm hungry and all that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to explain anything to you all. Just do your job. Not, oh, when you hear me, you don't want to hear my voice. Why? Because you're what? Don't worry about my voice. Ask me my name. Don't sit here and take the same information constantly. It's assuming that it's going to be the same thing. I use different email addresses for different things. I call for different matters, but I would like to know what is the sheriff department culture? What are the laws that you base it off of? Because I know for a fact, Racine, Wisconsin is Wisconsin. Why you tell me call the state of Wisconsin? They have pews, benches in their municipal courtroom with crosses on them. How appropriate is that? And they're not telling me. They say, oh, somebody donated them to them and they haven't had the chance to take the cross. Oh my goodness. Take the crosses off of those. So they're going to deface the sacred benches that somebody believe in instead of not accepting them at all. What are you all doing? I don't believe that, because why are you all sitting there holding me accountable in jail and abusing me about me saying that I'm not identifying as divorced? What competition are you all trying to have me in the sheriff's office? I can even not call I was told to call the jail. Why? They don't even hardly answer the phone for me. They hang up the phone. They don't even want to say their names. You are letting anybody do whatever. They don't have to say their name. Y'all kicking it, having a good time. Shit. Where's the party at? Where's the fiesta, the festival? You know what I'm saying? You all are lit up in there, doing whatever you want, because that's your group of people and you're going to make the most of it. But why do I have to have a hostile environment? I'm not going to create. I don't have to be friendly with you all. I do not have to be on a first name basis with you all. I don't have to do any of that. But you all have a responsibility to tell me what it is that you all are representing, what you're doing. Why? Don't hide from it. You have a culture. I want that information. It is a demand. It is an order. And I can put those orders out there just as well as you tell me, don't move. And then you had the nerve to say freeze. That's a threat. Who the fuck can freeze? I have to breathe. You are literally snatching the life out of somebody. Do you know that somebody sit there and really try to figure out how to stop breathing? Just so they won't go to jail? You all have significant power and you abuse that constantly over and over again. And you have to understand how serious this is. I'm calling about investigations about serious things, inspections. just to look into these problems so I can make sense of this shit. Y'all calling me incompetent. For what goddamn law? What law? I mean every word, please. I'm not abusing you or nothing like that, but I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. I need to introduce myself. I cannot be your template person. I never try to be a Barbie doll, but I've had all kind of Barbie dolls. I've had the Barbie limo and all that. I've had black Barbies before they were popular. I had all kinds of white Barbies, all of that shit. I've had tall Teresa doll Barbies and everything. But I never wanted to be a Barbie. I am not like you. I can be the only person. And you all have to understand that you serve more than just a community. There are independent people. There are people who are coming and working jobs and building their own little small business with one employee that are coming and buying a house in Kenosha or doing some business in Kenosha or driving through Kenosha. And they also have a right to see what's happening within the city of Kenosha. Close your doors. Put a tollway up there. Make it make sense. Do the work. Stop using this as a ghost town and doing all you have to do. And because I said it again, it's like, come on vacation, leave on probation. You all have these places like Kenosha County Crisis, Kenosha Human Development Center, Department of Children and Families, and Department of Health Services too, which you all, they're stealing identities. Women and Children Horizons, oh my goodness, please. They're literally having women that come in there with their children, or even men, their rapid rehousing program, they're falsifying documents saying that people are mentally ill just so that they can get money. And you have to realize that this is public record and it goes to these agencies. And I told that woman, Lena, that I did not like what she said. She said, just calm down, just calm down. I got this. I know what I'm doing. She said there's a specific amount of numbers that you have to put on the paper for you can qualify so that they can pay the money. Women and Children Horizons is taking up space here, constantly having different directors since I've been here. Now that's telling something. They won't give me my records. They won't return my emails or anything that I have been asking them to do. Now, it was one person. After I had called so long, send me an email back in like 2022 or something like that. And I couldn't even access the proper stuff. I tried to make an appointment with a woman. She was an attorney that you all hired through Women and Children Horizons. I had to go to jail. And you know what? She was dishonest about even meeting with me then. And I said, and so after she found out that I knew she was being dishonest, she wasn't even taking my call. Now it's somebody else working there. But you all are forcing all these people to be mentally ill to get to your programs. When are you going to start letting people know that they can go to the sheriff department and go to different auctions for different houses and things like that? Or when are you going to start opening things up to the public so people can know what's really going on? Why do everybody have to be mentally ill, knowing that that is damn near a death sentence on people? You all don't let nobody make it out of mental illness sometimes. You do not do people right, man. You abuse them in the jails. Man, they sit up there in those jails. Those officers were abusive toward me, telling me when I can eat my own commissary, letting people tell me I can't eat my food at 10 o'clock at night, that I got to eat my stuff at 7 o'clock at night. But when everybody else eating their food, I'm not in here as your roommate. I'm not on a buddy pass. I'm on my own. And stop trying to handcuff me to another person. That is inappropriate. You do not handcuff people. You all do not have the appropriate things, but you steady piling people in that jail. That's illegal. You cannot handcuff two strangers together that they're not even on the case together. You all know better. And you all sit up here and constantly find ways to get out of the trouble that you are in instead of recognizing what's serious. You want everybody you're turning everybody the same. Everybody's eating at the same time. So they're all going to the bathroom. So these women going through all kind of different things and men going through all kind of different things, whoever identify themselves, however, everybody's rushing to the toilet at the same time. Everybody's taking a shower at the same time. Everybody's doing everything at the same time. And so it's going to cause some fights. It's going to get some more people some trouble in a hole and different things like that. So you all can watch over them and see how crazy they're going to act or how they act so you can blind study them. You all literally put people home and give them one pink sheet Them people, you know what them officers did? Wrapped some toilet paper around their hand and basically threw it on the floor and told me every time I had to ask, and said I could not press the button. I had to beg them for toilet paper because somebody else too gonna tell them that I just got to roll. I'm literally menstruating and pooping and everything like that, going through the rolls of tissue. And then when I asked for a sheet, you know, they brought me the sheet that they had all been sitting on off of their chair. Didn't even bring me a clean sheet. That was in 2004 in March, right before I went to Mendota Mental Health Institute. Then they were trying to give me some pills before I left out of there to go to Mendota Mental Health. So what, y'all didn't want me to make it out? What kind of pills is that? I ain't been taking pills. Why y'all trying to give me pills now at Kenosha County Detention Center? So if you believe that this is not your problem at the sheriff's office, I'm here to tell you, if nobody else has told you, it is your problem. How can you take a report if somebody call you when I'm at a hospital that have nothing to do with you, and you are looking at my medical records or my summaries or whatever? That's a violation of my rights. But you gonna tell me you can't handle what you surveillance every day and through the night? There is somebody, and I ask many questions, and I really hope that you've been keeping up because I want answers. I'm gonna let you know, I'm not some little Jasmine Renee Davis. I am a woman. And I'm out here, and I'm no longer going to allow you all to treat me like I'm something because you didn't go to my college graduation. I don't need that information. That's somebody else's fight, and you all need to know that. I don't need to gain your approval. But if I can talk for myself, and I don't have to know, and I can be a little Jasmine Renee Davis. I can be out here behaving like however, because I know what to do and what not to do. Again, I'm not out here sleeping around, and I can if I want to, but I'm not prostituting. I'm not accepting money, random money from people. People have offered me to come to their house. I've been outside. I'm not jumping in and out and making your job harder for you, right? Because you're going to have to answer to it, whether or not. But Pleasant Prairie had the nerve to call me Jane Doe, and what, I wasn't going to call somebody a bitch. You called me Jane Doe. But I did not, and that's only because because that police officer lied. He was dishonest. He said that he gave me a card, and he did not. I have the video of him putting it right back in there. So there's a couple forms of abuse. They abuse me, and maybe there is something happening where y'all not recalling the things that are happening that's going on with y'all. So you're going to make it seem like I'm out of my mind. No, that's inappropriate. And I don't have to focus on every single detail. That's your job. All I have to do is watch myself. That's all I have to do. I would like to take a lot of stuff with me, but y'all seem to not be keeping up with it or you know what I'm saying? This is a serious issue. I'm coming for my money. I'm not going to keep allowing, there's a lawsuit. There really, truly is. Because even the way that you on this phone call, like, you know what I'm saying? You're listening. I appreciate you hearing me, but your replies are kind of like, I don't want to say arrogant in a way, but they're just like giving out a false sense of confidence, in my opinion, coming from a sheriff deputy. Man, this is a serious problem. I have to learn every day. I have to make it through this every day. I don't know who somebody is coming my way or whatever the capabilities are that are coming my way. I have to still live my life. I can't go around here telling people, oh, I'm Jasmine Renee Davis, and I know I got a lawsuit against the city. So, you know what I'm saying? I can own the city, but I'm going to mistreat y'all. Literally, Kenosha Police Department said that they weren't even going to take complaints from me because it would dismantle the city. Like, no, that's too many agencies that you got complaints about. These are all places, and I try to file a complaint against Julie Ortiz, who falsified right now. She tried to put a voluntary power of attorney on my children, and right now in the Chips case, they wrote that was involuntary. That woman kept on trying to Chapter 51 me until they finally were able to Chapter 51 me and try to blame it on Racine, Wisconsin, and that was on August 3rd. A police officer in Kenosha pulled me out of the car and my son out of my car, out of our car, out of my car, and Pleasant Prairie by the drive-in, and drove my car into Kenosha, into a private apartment building. and called Kenosha County Crisis and had us out there. I grabbed a blanket and put it out on that ground for my son and all that. You do not take me out of my car and drive my car. How you all talking about, get this is an order or whatever. Why would you? And then you all stole my convertible. Detective Howard was on the case. You used firehouse towing. You literally helped me push my car to what you call the towaway zone. And I tried to get it to be pushed that same distance to right across the street to a repair shop. And you all would not give my car back. But you came and got pictures of my title. What do you need a picture of my title for, Kenosha, Wisconsin? And so you all have many problems, and I have mentioned all these things, but you all tell me that I never have a police report to make. Like Racine Police Department told me yesterday that I just don't see what you all do. But I should be, if it's my report, I should be able to get some paperwork about it. I'm not playing with y'all. I'm not going to sit up and let y'all use my name without me and act like I'm oblivious to the fact, or I won't end on my situation. I can handle my stuff. I've been dealing with this shit for a while now. I have given my dad the blues before. Okay, out there in the street, like I didn't have a dad or a mom. Please, my parents own their house. But I didn't drive my dad crazy, so it ain't shit like that. But what I did was an embarrassment to many people, including myself. But I was living my life. I ain't never have intentions. I was out there trying to reach some social status that I didn't really, who gives a fuck? I'm not doing that anymore. You all aren't going to tell me how to live my life, and I'm doing well for myself. I'm doing well for myself. You are not going to tell me because I'm 38 that I can no longer menstruate or I can no longer have children, because you're not going to discuss the fact of all this poison and this food out here that people gradually eat, or how they can't wait to get 21 and drink alcohol, and y'all let anybody put any kind of alcohol out here. If you stop letting people put the wrong kind of alcohol in these streets or whatever the situation is, they could not have no choice but to bring some fermented real luxury stuff. And then you say, okay, then you don't have to worry about it, because if they don't have the money for it, they just can't drink. They go get some juicy juice, some apple juice, some orange juice, some pineapple juice. Please let them know the real situation. But you all don't care. Cheap liquor all out here. Come on now. They got all kinds of shit out here. But then you want to sit here, when somebody try to populate or whatever, you're going to try to put a scenario and say, okay, there are some statistics here. Where are those statistics coming from? Not what you just created to create a scare tactic for me. Where is it coming from? When I call you out and I ask you, I don't need to go through this stuff to the point where I have to literally condition myself not to be infuriated. I literally have to learn how to not be like what I want to do. I have to quickly, and that's a skill, to change. Like if I'm driving, you know what I'm saying? Okay, if I'm driving on Interstate 94 and I say, you know what, I'm just going to take the back roads. Fuck it. 'Cause I'm going to get there though. Why? I got money to pay the toll. I know the speed limit. My car can hold up. My tires, everything is on point. Why? Because you choose to take up every lane, swerving and driving drunk. If you cannot handle your liquor, do not put it in your system. If you cannot handle the phone call, do not work there. I tried to apply for a dispatcher's job before. That woman stood behind my back the whole time, stood over me while I was typing. And it was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I'll tell you exactly where it was. At the Kenosha,
to keep it down because kind of disturbing everybody else.
Oh, how? And I'm just talking in my regular voice.
I know, but I can hear you right up at the front desk.
But this is my regular voice. I can hear you all talking while you're up there too, though.
I know, I get that. But
so what's the difference?
I talk. I'm talking to help though.
So I'm talking to help me.
But I notice your voice goes up and down. That's why.
But this is my natural voice. But everybody does talk around here. Please, I'm doing what I can. I don't have to go in there.
Okay, all right.
Is there a computer in there?
Yes.
Are there windows in there? What's the problem? What is different than being right here?
All right, just keep it down just a bit. Okay.
Is there a job that comes along with this? Is there some kind of pay
Ma'am,
that comes along
I'm
with
just
it.
asking, okay?
And I'm just letting
I'm
you
just
know,
asking
I've
for-
already replied
have
to,
to.
and I
I
said
have
that when
to.
you asked me, I tried to talk a little softer, and that means I have to whisper now.
I'm not saying you have to. Just
Yes,
keep it
you
down a bit.
are.
Just keep it down a bit, that's all. And you can talk with everybody, just keep it down a bit.
I'm doing what I
Okay,
can.
all right.
What I'm telling you all is this. I should not have to go through all kind of mess where you all choose to not show up and do your job. If I'm calling for some open records, then that's what I want. I do not need to go through all this. You guys going to have to shape up. Because citizen arrest is valid. Just like you all know, everybody out there knows that if a police officer goes to them and asks them to assist them in arrest or do any kind of situation or whatever, if they don't do it, they are then resisting or they are then committing a crime if you all push it to that level. That's why you got all these little children out here as criminal little informants out here and setting people up with their phones, and you got all these people doing all kinds of snitching and the jails and all this different stuff because you all are not putting your name on it and you're having people to work up under your license. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. You go right ahead, but I have to take care of my own self. And just because I have the privilege of understanding what is happening, because you know what, I could have been strung out on many things that these people have tried to put me through. But I choose to continue to want something for my own life. I choose to want to live my own life. You all have to do the job. You have to do your work, please. I need this information for me, whatever I need it for, but you already know that I'm fighting cases out here. And you cannot take my information so I can file my lawsuit. Then you all had the nerve to talk about, please, statute of limitations. But there are some other questions and some paper, some other things that you all have. What are your responsibilities of your job? What are the things that you all are really supposed to do? You have a specific capacity of your job, and I have to sit up here and okay, this call has been for 1 hour and 47 minutes and 44 seconds. That's just 1 hour and 47 minutes. I have to live with this stuff and breathe through this stuff, and I sit there and like, you may not tie my hands. You know what I'm saying? You may not hog tie me as people say it. That means, I'm going to say it just like this. I'm not a hog. You may not tie my hands together and my feet together and just have me out here like any old kind of thing. And it's inappropriate probably for me to say hog tie, but I explain it. Just as well as somebody might say the police are pigs. I don't know exactly why or whatever, or 5-0 or whatever it is. I don't know what that stuff means. So I'm going to make sure that I correct my language appropriately so that I can let you know that I'm being professional. But you may not hogtie me. You all are doing modern day lynching. You're doing modern day cutting people off and taking their you know what I'm saying, their transportation from them and a lot of different things. And then you don't want someone to, have an underground railroad, but you sit there and champion how much Underground Railroad came to here just so you can have a tourist attraction. Come on, man. There's information that I have asked you right now on this call, and I have been on this call a while. And I appreciate what I'm doing. But the problem is that I should be able to come into your office and talk to you all about it without having to worry about you all saying, oh, there are other people here. Be quiet so these other people can talk and everybody else. Why not me? Why can't I be myself? Do you understand that if you told me right now to do something that I did not do, would you raise your voice and say, Jasmine Renee Davis, right now, you are under arrest. Put your hands up. If I ran from you, I'm going to ask you something. I'm going to ask you one serious question. Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah, I know you're on the phone. The time is still ticking. I'm just going to ask a question. And so ready or not, here I come. And I don't want to be on bullshit, but can you please listen to what I'm saying? Because I can get like that. Because for some reason, I don't know. Are you okay? This is a lot of information to take in, right? Of course, you have a right to heal yourself. That's your job. You have a right to be able to take care of your own life. When you hear these things at your job, everything is not fun and games. Everybody not really committing crimes. It takes one false report to constantly go through people over and over again to give somebody a messed up record. You all sit up there and say, oh, as long as I don't spell your name wrong, shit, the district attorney gonna take whatever I give him. What? I told you don't call me Miss Davis in those reports. I told you don't do those different things, and you still want to do it? I asked you to refer to me as Jasmine Renee Davis. What's so hard about that? Because how many Miss Davises are you going to use? What is your problem with Davis? What is your problem with Jasmine? What is your problem with Renee? What is your problem with black people? What are your problem with other people? What category are you trying to put me in? That's why I stand on myself, on my own 2 feet as well, to say, I'm independent. I do not want to be in have somebody else's body and share a body with anybody. But I want to ask you a question, and I appreciate if you acknowledge your presence here and are you even breathing right now? Because your phone, the time is still going. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis, June 12, 1986. D1204368671201. I can get up right now and go into the lavatory. I'm sweating, you know what I'm saying? I feel myself and whatever, but I'm choosing to really put this effort in because it's important. I have the opportunity to do it right now. I'm literally fighting for my life so I don't have to go to jail. I do not want to go to jail, and I should never. I did not do anything to have to be put in jail. You all sit there and you taking this stuff lightly. If you put somebody under arrest, and if you not on this phone and you still didn't tell me, and you're going to be held accountable even more, the sheriff and you. But what I'm saying is, and I choose to walk away from you or even run, what is your protocol? What would you do? If I choose to run off when you tell me that I'm under arrest, even if you may or may not know it's me, what do you do next? If I choose to walk away from you or run away, what do you do then?
That depends on what the contact's about.
What you mean? What does it depend on? That depends on what the contact is about. What does that mean?
Okay, so if I'm just coming up to you for just to say hi and you run away, then you run away.
But
if I'm investigating a crime and you run away, then the charge of obstruction fits.
No, do you arrest everybody? You just arrest people who says hi? That you want to say hi to? You arrest people just because you want to say hi?
No, that's not what I said. What I said is it depends on the context or what the contact is about. If I just in passing and say hi and you run away, then that's it. But if I'm there investigating a crime or a complaint and you are the suspect in that complaint and you run away, then technically, yes, you would be charged with obstructing.
Okay, but how do you then arrest that person who's running from you? What do you do?
Well, it depends. You either chase after that person and take him into custody, or you submit a warrant for their arrest.
Right, okay. And so, but what if you can't catch that person?
Then that's where the warrant for their arrest comes in.
So you just stop pursuing the person? After a while?
Again, it depends. We can what up this all day long.
That's what I said. So now, at times, you know what it is? Some people are so physically unfit where they are afraid of their own bodies. So, and then they no. You can say something. I have a comment. They use their guns. They shoot people down because they're not physically trained. You know what I'm saying? They're not fundamentally fit for the job. People are no longer chasing and doing the things that they have to do. They don't jump over fence. They don't do none of that. They are shooting and tasing. And again, like you said, they don't even run. They don't do it. They just maybe put a warrant out. For what? Did you do your proper investigation? What's the reason that person ran? You all don't even sit up there and do a proper investigation. What it is proper if you have not seen somebody do an act of like murder or something like that, then how are you, without proper investigation, are you arresting somebody? You don't send somebody to jail and then go back and because you already got them in jail. A lot of times, yes, then somebody have to have an attorney because the phones don't work in the jail and people ain't really accepting no calls and you're not hearing them anyway because you barely listen to people. And people try to stand up by the door. You still don't want them to do that. So you're not even properly investigating. So maybe somebody, like I said, somebody might walk away like, man, this is a joke, man. I don't have to, you a public servant and you sitting here, you want to try to arrest me. You the one that's committing a crime. I'm not about to let you arrest me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to deal with this. You know, because you're not properly doing your job. You all are finding that you're working for a community that you are now trying to overpower and dictate. And that's not what your job is. Your job is to do what you're supposed to do as a community, but you're supposed to represent the whole township. Like whatever that city is, and that's everybody. There are rules, and you can't only, like for instance, the circuit court has a law. No, it's not a law, it's a rule. It hasn't even been signed. And they have all these judges, but it has not been signed. But they're using it, and it has not been signed. You all are making your own ordinances and things like that. But at the same time, though, you're not following through with what is really the true law all the time. You're not doing properly. Oh, you say, well, tell it to a judge. And then what, like me, I have a complaint that I want to file against William Michael. You know what I'm saying? I said, man, against these judges because of what they did to me. But what if I had to go to jail again on anything? Because I'm not going to just commit a crime and then he don't give me a signature bond. I can't even pay for my own things because you all are taking those chances that, you know what I'm saying? You all are giving me stuff on my stuff. So I don't have what I have now. I have to try to borrow off of credit. Or you know what I'm saying? Like I have to be exactly who I am in a specific way. And be what you all want. So because if I didn't have it, I wouldn't have to worry about it. Because you all are supposed to properly address the concern and investigate before you arrest somebody. Because it might turn out that corporation or somebody or whoever's calling police were the ones that are doing the crime. I was told, why would anybody try to force you into their lift and then call the law on you? That doesn't make sense. As if I was being dishonest. Why would somebody, say these things if they were not true or whatever? We don't believe that. So it all comes back on me. Just like you have a comment or a question, and I would like to hear what you have to say. But the fact of the matter is, you are not being physically fit and putting up time, and you are acting tired in a job that calls for no tiredness. You're just not. It's officers right now that have been having surgeries. They're sitting over there, barely can tie their shoes, man. Just leaning over, like, come on, man. Y'all not even taking care of each other. Ain't even taking care of yourself. Y'all insurance is not even covering the standard of care, but y'all sitting there letting people give y'all surgeries and all that stuff. And you go back to work and you falling all over. You can barely stand up straight for a amount of time. And you get frustrated with people or whatever, but you lose your patience with people very quick. They called the police on me. That police was so anxious. He was the police officer at the Kenosha County Library, Northside Library. In 2024, I believe it was like July, perhaps. June. It was June. It was around, I don't even know when. It was 2024, though. I have the video. But he was so short with me. It was like, I was looking at the video. I said, what's up with this guy? He had no compassion for his job. And I didn't even do what they said I did. They were trying to make me agree to a time that I did not agree to. Why are you trying to force me to rent a room out longer than I want to rent it? I'm not agreeing to that. It was a setup. They already had a dismissal letter, a suspension already typed up. That was a setup. How would you just know that I'm gonna do something wrong unless you're gonna do everything you can and work hard? And you knew only thing that you could do was to say to me that Jasmine A. Davis is not gonna let anything on her name, and this is the only way that we're gonna get her. And meanwhile, advertising on my social media, showing, what are you saying?
Lieutenant Funk, can you come talk to me?
All right, Miss Davis, I gotta go.
Who is that? Mm-hmm. I appreciate it. I'm not here to play with these people. I promise you, I do not have to go and work in their buildings or anything like that. I don't have to be a private investigator. I do not have to I do not want to be there. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have them label me and tell me where I can enter into or what I can, you know what I'm saying? I want to be able to walk in any situation that I possibly can walk into that I afford to. It's not only my talent making room for me. I have stuff that I have to handle, and I have stuff that I have to take care of. So I have to be ugly with these people constantly over and over again. I mean that stuff. This is a serious matter. Okay, so I'm about to leave some of this stuff right here. I could carry it all with me. It's not my personal office. I'm going to take it with me. Okay. Oh my goodness. That's 1:33 p.m. I have those calls in. I've sent emails, and the sheriff department know that I emailed them too. I emailed them about these issues. They never emailed me back, and they know they did not. I screenshot it and posted on my Facebook page and on my YouTube. I got information there too. I have it in my email. You're not going to hack in all my emails so that I cannot access my stuff. This is intelligence that they have, and it's great. But how come nobody gets to know what classes to take or what degrees to get so that I can understand that? Because I do not have to walk your stage. I do not have to accept your diploma or your degree to get my information so that I can handle my stuff on my own time. But what is it that it does? Oh, I can't get into that because I can't get into it. This is another point that I didn't make because of my background. I can't get in a specific program in school because of what's on my criminal background. Because you all know what to write. You all know how to charge people. You all know to definitely put me in jail because of the situation. You all know that if there is some magical creature that's coming along looking for somebody that exactly like me or whatever, and they want to have a relationship or even a date or even a conversation, if they look up my background and see schizophrenic, even if they didn't want to, it might be somebody, even if they want to, it might be somebody to tell them absolutely not. You will not risk everything that you work for to talk to her. Talk to the second somebody that's not as good as her, but you won't talk to her. People are sitting here have to go on with their lives and miss out on opportunities because of these people, and they don't mind taking leftovers. It ain't no goddamn leftover because I don't know anything about it. I refuse to let these people limit my life and have the nerve to ask me for my social. But this is what they like to listen to. This is the thing that, it is what it is. I have to give myself a motivational speech every day. I wake up in the morning and I basically look both ways before I cross the street. That's how I feel. I turn on my video to say, this is how I look when I wake up in the morning. Soon as I get up, I barely even touch my face because I want somebody to see who I really am. All the time. Because this is what I have to do. I have to be real
to let somebody know this is not a game. I am not playing. Because why would Jasmine Renee Davis ever get to make friends in high places ever? I am not friendly. But the thing is, I can do business wherever I go. Some people can't even go into Canada. Some people can't even go places because of their background. Why do you all want me to stay limited to here and you don't even want me to go into your goddamn sheriff office? Or your courthouse or anything. I can't even go to, you don't even got the restaurants that I can really eat at. And if I ask for what the ingredients is, you're kicking me out and calling the police. What are you really hiding? Not me? Shit. Fuck, you want to try to keep me until I grow up or something? Grow up how? Grow up when? I don't have to ever grow up. I'm not, especially when I know that there's more that information that I have to learn. Please, do you see some of these people as beautiful as they look and they got young skin, glowing skin, and they be like 70, 80 years old and they still got what could be considered a baby face? Oh, please. Oh, it's ugly. Ain't nobody out here just letting people mess them over. I was watching something and this courtroom, this man said, he living with his parents. He said, if my parents want me to move out, they're going to have to give me some thousands of dollars. He was asking for it probably, I don't even know, probably about, I don't even know. It was toward $100,000. He said, and I just said, your parents are not responsible for you. That could have went either way. He could have been telling him that your parents cannot afford to take care of you. They don't want to take care of you and they supposed to, or they don't have to take care of you. But I did not once hear them explain what that meant. And I did not hear them people, what do you mean my parents are not responsible? Please explain that. Because Dad, Mom, what is the meaning of this? The man said, my parents are loaded. They gave birth to me, basically, he said. They have to take care of him. That's what his argument is. I don't know. He felt that he was not ready to be out there on his own yet because they have a responsibility. And that's why they said, oh, because you're 18. He found that he was in his 40s and he still wanted his parents. And his parents said, you got to go. And he has to go. But the problem is he's saying, well, you want me to leave? Then make sure I can take care of myself. At least don't put barbed wire on the goddamn gate when I walk out the door. Do not fucking sit there and put sinking sand as soon as I get off of your goddamn porch. You don't have to give me the money because I'm going to get my money. But do not mess me over so that I cannot make it through this situation. Do not have a goddamn hearse and a police officer and all this stuff waiting to carry me home. What you mean? And that's what people talking about. Oh, when you coming for freedom. That's the only way you free around here. Like somebody just initiating a game. When you sit here and letting these people put all your practices, when you work hard and you carry a baby and you there and all that. And then also these people out here on all these hormones and different stuff and they're having sexual intercourse with one another. Don't you dare try to separate the population though. Don't you dare make women and men on one side or another. But what about these people who are taking in what these people are being put on their drugs and that is affecting them? Different things and people are trying. Tell the truth. Where you all are sewing people up, tying their tubes, sterilizing them so that they cannot ejaculate sperm. You don't have to do that. Shit. But people are not knowing that when you sit there and you let them initiate you and they do all you don't know what the fuck them people doing when they take them babies. You do not have to let them take that baby away from you. And I did not know that. What the fuck are you doing with my child the whole time? When I tried to look, those nurses at Aurora in 2006, what is she doing? Look at, they did not want me to see what the fuck they were doing. Ain't no telling what the fuck. They could have been allowing a spaceship to come down. Why can't I know what you're doing? This is my baby. What did I just sign up for? Literally, I ain't crazy. I ain't out of my mind. But what the fuck did you just sign me up for? I did not give you permission. But when somebody sit up there and that's a risky behavior. know the information. It's going to be easy to follow the crowd. It's going to be easy to do all these things. But I'm the one who's living through this. I know what I'm talking about. And I have enough sense. It wasn't me sitting in no jail to figure this shit out. I've been putting this stuff in perspective. I literally was sitting there crying over my dad, talking about how much I miss my dad. And he was right in the other room while there was people sitting up there entertaining him, laughing and trying to, and I'm crying. I miss my dad. I miss my dad. I miss my dad. Preparing because these people told me that my dad had to die. No, he did not. I refuse. Because they say, and who's to know what that woman shoved down my dad's throat or anything that day where my dad was, get off of me, told that woman, and it sounded like he was gargling. Yes, it did. And that police officer come there and investigate me trying to figure out, and they didn't run my name like they should have, because you know what? There was a warrant out for my fucking arrest. Oh, how convenient. What if I ain't had no money? What if I couldn't make the proper things to save my dad's life or make the decisions for him? I was the one that would have been arrested. My dad was not dead on arrival. Nobody's going to explain that. They talk about statute of limitations. They're full of shit. It's always a problem, constantly, over and over again. And what I'm saying is, I can be who I want to be. I do not have to grow up for nobody and do anything. I'm not asking you to take care of me, but there are people who look at things in different perspectives. I don't have to be. Some people say, okay, well, you're not legal growing until you're 20. I don't even know how old you had to be now to buy alcohol or cigarettes. It probably had changed. I don't know. Okay, but then you can be what? They having people 17 and all this different stuff, recruiting them without permission, and the armies and military or whatever. The Navy. No, come on, man. And then you're not even telling people how broad these places are, because how many people in these sort of situations going to really see what the Navy SEALs actually do, what these people really get to do? It's amazing, all of the stuff that they do. And because they don't have the specific education, they never see it. All they see is the small town things, the constant recycling of one another over and over again, and the bullshit where people think that they can pull up on you and do anything. And as soon as I say something to them, it's a wrap for who? Then I gotta call and beg of thy forgiveness to the police, or I have to make a report so that people won't say, this is another problem. Put another link in that chain. Put another, you know what I'm saying, grip the handcuffs a little bit tighter. They say they take those handcuffs and they use a key. They all got the same key. It's all the fucking same key. They use the key and they lock it so they don't won't tighten. Meanwhile, Racine County Jail had me in some shackles on my legs, my ankles, right? I'm on my way to court. Tore my legs up to the point, my ankles up to it ripped skin off of me. They didn't give a fuck. Ripped skin off of my legs, and I wasn't even, it was 2023. Since when can you tear skin off of me? Since when you gonna keep putting stuff that's tearing skin off of people? I've had handcuffs on me that have scraped my arms. So what else do you need? You didn't fuck up my body. So I'm no longer perfect. I got your scars. So, I mean, don't worry about me being in your competition, because you too goddamn perfect for me anyway. But I want my own life. And I'm coming for my life. And it's not going to be the last thing that I do, because you know what? I'm going to not only come for my life, I'm going to have my life, and I'm going to live my life, and I'm going to let somebody know that I don't have to come for my life, that I can exist in my own life. Why do I have to explain this stuff in such detail like this? And it's all obvious and it's apparent. All you have to do is put it in perspective. I cannot let people think for me. I have to make it make sense for me. I have to understand. I didn't been on drugs before, all kinds of shit. I didn't go out my mind. I didn't go around beating up people. I wasn't getting in crashes and all kinds of shit. I was not being abusive at all. You all see that I was not impaired. But it was times where I would cry. And fine. I would actively move my body and I would show things, but never once was I violent to y'all. Never once was I walking up to you, hating on you, or spitting on you, or calling you out your name, or doing any of that stuff to you. Ever. I was not stepping on you when you were trying to find your way. I was not calling the police on you because I was angry at you for being beautiful, to try to figure out what's next. And I have to be in them places forever. But maybe I just wanted to come through for a minute. Shit. They got mini clinics all over this motherfucker. But you know what? I should be able to have my own stuff. I have a dad that worked hard for his stuff. And no, he didn't do everything alone. But it was all in his name. It was his money. It was his idea. It was his doing. Company came. People were there. He worked a job and retired and had his business and retired and did other stuff along the way. And he worked stuff and still didn't let it motherfucking phase him. Sexual. Man, I don't give a fuck. You're not going to tell me that I cannot be in touch with my person. They got adult bookstores and every motherfucking thing out here. You cannot take away me from wanting to learn what I want to learn. And I should not have to put information out here so everybody can demystify me all over the world and figure out what it is. This is my skill, my body. You leaders, you need to be more flexible with who you're leading. Why are you steady allowing and opening your doors for people? I'm not taking up a collection. I'm not charging dues. I'm not trying to tell people, follow me. But what if I accepted every dollar that somebody gave to me? These things are some stuff that is supposed to be near and dear to me. And I'm not going to put myself out here in a way. But I'm going to tell you something. My dad was never any type of out there abusing anybody in any sort of situation. Never. No matter what it was. Look at what he was able to create with my mama. That put that comes from somewhere, to be able to muster up that much energy and push that out of you to come up with me. And people say, I'm not even fully grown yet. I'm dealing with all kind of social structures and all that stuff. I'm not even at just some of my potential. Sometimes it used to be, I didn't forgot more than you ever know. Nobody had to remember everything that happened. I do not know everything I did when I was 2, but somebody's going to call me terrible too. They're going to call you terrible too, and the next person terrible too. But why not terrific too? Why not just 2? It's all of how you look at it. Because these are some of the most inquisitive days. I have things that I want to learn. There is a whole new learning, a whole new life out here. And it's things that I've been opening that I've never seen before. I didn't see this shit in school books. I'm not out here playing with you. I did not get this information before. I didn't get to come alive like you get to come alive. So, don't worry about me. Don't pardon me. Just keep it moving, because I'm out here living my best life. And while people out here talking to me, talking about I won't listen to nobody, wait, do I have to? Somebody just commented on my page today and talking about my death or whatever the situation is. But it's good that I can show so that they can understand who I am and not what they say out there when they kicking the beat. What is the beat on the street? They get out of everything that they have to get out of accordingly. But for me, I don't even have really, enough money. I got $80. I tell you, and I should be afraid to say that, right? Because that ain't enough for bond. But people get more and more, a whole bunch of signature bonds. Believe that. They can have all kind of open cases and still get signature bonds. Right in Wisconsin, right in Kenosha, right in Racine, right any goddamn where. There might be a higher bond, but it's out there. How many people have been able to sign their houses as their collateral and things like that? Have they ever gave me an option? No, because they wouldn't possibly think to say some shit like that to me. Because what? I don't own anything. And when you don't have ownership in something, then it gives you a what? Smaller opportunity or something, a minimal limited situation. Please. I don't mean any disrespect or try to intrude on these people around here. This is a goddamn job center. It's a workforce development center of Wisconsin. I'd be surprised if somebody ain't came to this motherfucker pitching a Western right now. Somebody done lost their job knowing goddamn well. Somebody said they lost their job, but they bills didn't know that they lost their job. I said, man, that's some serious stuff. I was sitting there looking at that screen like, man, that was real right there. You have to understand that you gotta mind your own business sometimes. If I'm not directing this to you, I'm not in light of the situation, and then they expect somebody to look the other way when they out there harassing somebody and abusing somebody though. You're the offender. You think that somebody gonna say something about you, literally just say out your mouth that y'all had $1 billion. $1 billion. Who's seen that $1 billion? How many scholarships did you give out? How many people won a scholarship from you? I probably wouldn't even accept a scholarship from Kenosha Unified School District and had them tracking me. Embarrassment. But you selling the school buildings, making everything smaller. How many teachers you gonna put in that classroom? They sit there and they had my child in the same goddamn classroom for constantly 2 years at a time. Who the fuck does that? First and second grade together, third and fourth grade together, that type of shit. Come on, man. Oh, and I asked them, I said, this is a mix-up. I never really got a good understanding about it. It was always they're too busy or something. How are you, one teacher sent up there, so what's happening? It was like some kind of reply, like they teach something specific or whatever. Everybody's learning the same thing. So you telling me they got to go through first grade twice? And through second grade twice? So what, is that third grade? Shit. What is it? Because what is 1 times 0? I don't even know. Because how many times can you times 0 and the 1? How many times 1 is still 0? Because 1 plus 0 is 1. Somebody came up with that so that they can make it. Somebody came up with algebra. But you decide this person is higher on a social status. We like that person more. So you got to pay to get in to learn geometry and trigonometry. But you can learn addition and subtraction. Why? Teach them children in elementary trigonometry and things like that. It don't stop. It won't get old. But you don't want to, huh? Do you not know? Are your colleges not teaching? But your show police academy and the shit out of everybody. Come on now. Make it make sense. Because this is a person that you all are calling mentally ill and incompetent and all these things. I want to know. And I'm out here. And I have not a lot of money. And I have to try to figure out how am I going to get this word out before goddamn June 30th. These are the constant problems. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. These are the constant problems. Over and over and over and over and over again that people have to deal with. I want to have a good time. I want to just, it don't have to be a good time. What is a good time? I want to be able to be happy, like dance and move my body and just do what I want to do for whatever reason, whatever I want to. I want to be able to just, you know what I'm saying, just do it. And I'm not playing. But I'm serious and I want to be able to make money. I want to be able to have something and I want to let somebody know I am not something to play around with. At all, ever. And it doesn't matter who it is. Sometimes it can be whatever. And you know what? I always wonder if that person is going to accept it for how I addressed it, or if they're going to believe that I have been abusive to them. And I always say, hear me good. I'm not abusing you. I don't want to abuse, but I mean what I say. Do not play with me. I know that what I'm doing is not abusive, so I don't have that regret or that remorse. But I am not going to live each and every day just because a word come out my mouth or because I open my eyes or whatever and have to live in regret because these people are trying to tell me that I'm not good enough and I cannot live my life and be who I want to be for myself. That's why I brought up the word gaslighting. But that's too good to give to them. That's too much for them. And people have to realize these things constantly over and over and over and over again. I'm not giving you my power, but some people will take it and they'll do wonders with that shit. So much it'll come back to you and be raggedy as a motherfucker, and it'll be like, damn. Literally spin around in a circle and come and quick like that. They could expedite your stuff. And before you even think past your nose, they already came back with all kinds of stuff. And just like how they can do, if you don't believe it, type something into artificial intelligence and see how quick a motherfucker will write something for you. And they can write a whole goddamn paper. This is the constant thing over and over and over again. People have to wake up. There has been a change that has happened. And these people have people in the fucking prehistoric days. They are still fighting wars from goddamn 2,000 and 3,000 years ago. Okay, then fine. Keep your museums open, keep your community things open, but also have a variety of things. Why is it that you are constantly having these same books? Hey, listen, they say classes, school, because of the money, you don't want to have the children going into probably like April or on a